3. The Jayhawks had a chance at no gain on the play, but John Kamara couldn't wrap up his legs, and Hardy kept those big legs churning. He winds up gaining 3.
Yeah, and that's the MO of Hardy, why he was the #1 running back in the portal. What he does after contact, Kamara, John that is, had him wrapped up for a TFL, could not get him down.
3 receivers stacked to the left, 1 wide right. 2nd and 7 coming up for Mizzou. Ball on the right hash. Prabula, 2-step drop, looks left, lobs high. Ball's caught. First down to the 32-yard line. That time an easy pitch and catch. Hookup is good to Donovan Alubade. He's the speedster on the left edge. And KU was 2 steps slow in getting to him.
Yeah, they're going after Austin Alexander early on. Probably easy to understand since he's a freshman out there, freshman eligibility-wise. A nice little spin-off by Alubade, who's very, very fast.
3 receivers and a tight end for Mizzou. In the gun is Prabula. He will fake a handoff. No, the give is to Hardy. Sheds a tackle, and he could be gone. 25-20, 15-10-5. Touchdown, Mizzou. Kansas with multiple missed tackles on the drive. And this time, Hardy all the way to the end zone for 6.
Yeah, it's all Hardy again as Austin Alexander off of the edge. He went too high. He tried to wrap up the hips. You got to go to the legs of Hardy, not the hips. He runs through Alexander's tackle and then edges out to the left along the Missouri sideline. Safety Taylor Davis was there but couldn't get him down.
The play.
32 yards on the house call. A 5-play, 71-yard drive that took just 2:09 off the clock. There was a penalty, though. Crowd reacting to that as they line up for the extra point, something post-play.
BMAC, aiming points got to be lower on this running back Hardy.
Well, you just can't leave your feet. You saw Austin Alexander leave his feet to wrap up and miss. You saw John Kamara leave his feet to wrap up. It's got to be an engine, right? You got to swoop, contact, and now your feet got to go fast. So you got to see some better technique from these Jayhawk defenders.
The kick is blocked. The extra point is blocked and scooped up by Kansas. Jayhawks have a chance to return it. Down the left sideline they'll go. Here comes Mason Ellis, and he's all the way to midfield before finally they take an angle and get him out of bounds. But the pride of Mulvane, Kansas, darn near had a chance for a highlight reel border showdown, takedown the other direction, but Mason Ellis tracked down at midfield. So 6 points on the drive. They don't get the extra point, and that's going to be a storyline if this is indeed a tight game.
Yeah.
The kid they called Craig the Leg, Blake Craig, out with a torn ACL from week 1. It's Robert Meyer, a freshman out of Colfax, California. He got blocked there. Was there something with the snap and hold combination, or did Kansas just get great pursuit left side?
I think it was just too low. The kick was too low, but Mason Ellis, a great opportunity. Could have made a cutback, but I know he's a defensive player. Great speed. He outran everyone but one person, so Kansas doesn't get the 2 point, but they deny the single point on the conversion.
6-0 Mizzou. Crowd is engaged. Kansas in a hole. Let's see if Jalen Daniels and company can have an answering score when we come back. 6-0 Tigers. 10:53 to go in the first on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Jayhawk fans, this is Lance Leipold. A good football season turns into a great one with the support and excitement of our fans. The same is true for your health care. The University of Kansas Health System cares for each person with compassion and enthusiasm while delivering leading-edge treatments. The University of Kansas Health System is the official healthcare provider of Kansas Athletics together with LMH Health. Learn more at kansashealthsystem.com. Rock Chalk.
You're listening to Kansas Football.
Touchdown, Kansas!
This is Kansas Jayhawk Football from Learfield.
Or buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
They showcased a sense of love that I never had before.
I mean, he's not only my parent, like he's like my best friend.
At the end of the day, it's all been worth it. I wouldn't change a thing about our lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Well, not the start the KU had scripted here today. Jayhawks got the first possession of the game, were forced to punt after a 3-and-out, and Mizzou marches 5 plays right down the field, come up with a 32-yard touchdown from their Louisiana Monroe star transfer running back, former Sun Belt Conference Freshman of the Year. So the Jayhawks have to dust themselves up, get up off the mat, and come back here swinging to get right back in this game down 6-0.
Yeah, it was all about the line of scrimmage and the penalty that we talked about. We didn't know exactly what the penalty was on, as Missouri will be punting the ball from the 20-yard line, so giving up some field position.
So a high boot will be hauled in at the 28-yard line. The Jayhawks with Bruin will take it across the 35 and immediately upended there near the 37-yard line. So does help a little bit with the post-play excessive celebration that led to a punt off instead of a kickoff post-touchdown. And Kansas blocked the extra point, so ever since that 32-yard touchdown scamper, a couple of nice breaks go KU's way.
And Bruin, I think he's designed to be more of a blocker, so if it's in between the back returners and Bruin, he needs to allow them to catch it, and Bruin go get that block. So I think if you had your choice, Bruin blocking, have the returners, the scat backs in the back, be the ones that receive that ball.
Trips to the left. They started in a triangular formation around JD, and then he motioned him away. He's going to keep, sprints right side, makes a man miss, and takes another Tiger with him all the way up near the 50-yard line. Just enough to get the first down, a gain of 10, and that will indeed be KU's first down of this game.
Yeah, it's Bowden Gruen. He had the block out on the edge and got that outside linebacker taken out.
Handoff Highshaw, and he's going to work it across midfield down near the 46-yard line for a gain of 4. So Kansas with 2nd and 6 coming up, doing a lot of pre-snap trickeration to keep the Tigers guessing here. Now a 4-wide set, 2 wide on each side. Waist-high snap, 3-step drop, and the pass is air-mailed by Daniels. He was looking for Doug Emilion, but he threw it 3 feet over his outstretched fingertips, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 6. KU 0 for 1 on 3rd down today.
Yeah, so what Kansas does after a big play, the run by JD, they like to do up-tempo. But the up-tempos have not worked out as well, so they're going to face a 3rd and medium on this 3rd down after doing 2 very quick plays after the JD first down.
First down would come at the 41-yard line. It's 3rd and about 5.5 yards to go. 4 receivers set, 3 on the right side. Daniels claps his hands, 3-step drop, throws short to the left. It's caught, but it looks like it's just shy. Keaton Kebeka, this will depend on the spot. I believe he's a yard short. B-Mac, you're looking across the field at it. What do you see?
Definitely short by a yard, could not stay on his feet and battle for those extra yards. It'll be 4th and a little over 1 yard.
Yeah, Kebeka's got to cut that off 1 yard deeper, right? That's on him. You can't make a completion short of the sticks. It's going to force Kansas to go for it on 4th down. Missouri's going to be bringing the house up front, and it is loud here.
Ball on the 42. They need to get to the Tiger 41. Kansas trailing 6-0. They fake the handoff. Wide open. They've got the tight end. Down the right sideline goes Gruen. He's inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. Beautiful play call by Jim Zabrowski.
And that's what you do with a veteran, experienced quarterback, is you can throw on 4th down. He's been known to do it. Play action fake. The box was loaded up with Tigers. Gruen snuck out. He's all by himself. Catches the ball, runs safely down to the 13-yard line. Biggest play for the visitors thus far.
Bowden Gruen had 2 catches for 53 yards a week ago. That's a 24-yarder for Gruen right there. Ball inside the Kansas Lottery red zone. Hawks down 6. Daniels slings it out to Eman on the right flat. Tries to weave between 2 Tigers, but is upended at the 15-yard line after a gain of just 3.
Yeah, wide receiver screen. Manuel Henderson does the catch. His 2 receivers block in front of him, but not a big paved way for Henderson, who picked up minimal yardage.
Jayhawks are inside the Kansas Lottery red zone. Visit playonkansas.com for more information, and let's play. 2nd down and 7 for KU. 3 receivers set. Pickett comes in motion. They fake a handoff to Pickett. Wide open lob to the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas. Touchdown, Deshaun Hanukkah. And the Jayhawks strike right back.
Great play action fake inside. Brings the safety up a notch. Hanukkah runs right by him. It was a fake to Pickett coming around the end, but Hanukkah goes up. Full stretched arms, catches the ball, high points it well, brings it down many times. There's a juggle that negates the catch, but not Deshaun Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, one of the only guys on the roster old enough to have actually attended a previous border showdown. And he remembers it, the pride of Topeka, Kansas. He had a chance to take one of these in. He knows what this rivalry is all about. And now Laith Marjan can give Kansas its first lead. Good snap, good hold. The extra point is up and true. And just like that, your Jayhawks back in front, 7-6 Kansas. It's a 7-play, 62-yard drive. Took 2:41 off the clock. BMAC, how's the vibe now on those crimson and blue sidelines?
They are riding high. Jalen Daniels had a defensive tackle in his face. He sat in there, delivered that ball where only Deshaun Hanukkah could catch it. This team is confident and ready to rock and roll.
That was a play fake to Pickett on an end around. He pulls it out, and you're right, outstretched arms in his face. What a drive for Jalen Daniels and the tight end Bowden Gruen, who got the big-time reception but the big-time block.
7-6, Jayhawks in front. Hawks will kick it off to Mizzou when we come back. You're listening to the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Being named the best starts with putting patients first. I'm Tammy Peterman, president of the Kansas City Division of the University of Kansas Health System. The University of Kansas Hospital is proud to once again be the only hospital recognized by U.S. News & World Report as the best in Kansas and Kansas City, and the only hospital in the region to have any specialties ranked in the top 50 nationwide. It's a testament to our physicians, nurses, and staff who deliver outstanding care to every patient. Learn more at kansashealthsystem.com.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Jayhawk fans, as the Storage Mart Border Showdown heats up, Storage Mart is here to help super fans like you score big. Get $20 off storage space with promo code SHOWDOWN20 online today. You heard that right. Save $20 on storage when you visit storage-mart.com and use code SHOWDOWN20 at checkout. Again, that code is SHOWDOWN20. Offer only available at Storage Mart. Restrictions apply. Storage Mart is proud to be the official storage partner of Kansas Athletics.
Hey Jayhawk fans, this is two-time All-Big 12 safety Kenny Logan Jr. here, and you're listening to Kansas Jayhawk Football on the Jayhawk Sports Network.
Kenny Logan never got to play in a Storage Mart Border Showdown, but I know he's fired up watching this. 7-6 Kansas in front. A great answering drive of 7 plays, 62 yards, 2:41 off the clock. Deshaun Hanukkah from 15 yards out puts the Jayhawks on top.
Jalen Daniels certainly sparking our offense. What could happen to spark the Kansas defense? Could it be somebody that we saw warm up, wasn't expected to play in this game, but certainly missed tackles, want to make you put your best tacklers on the field? Bengali Kamara might be that for Kansas. We saw him warm up. We don't know if it was a decoy or not, but he is on the trip, and Kansas needs someone to bring down number 29, Ahmad Hardy, who broke 2 big tackles en route to 48 yards and a touchdown.
Obviously, the previous time this season Kansas got off to a shaky start defensively was versus Fresno State. Multiple missed tackles on that drive, and then they were able to draw a line in the sand and say, you shall pass no further the rest of the game. Just 141 yards allowed the rest of the game versus the Bulldogs. Ensuing kickoff is on the ground, scooped up and upended. Great play on special teams for Kansas. They're going to pin the Tigers inside the 20-yard line, as that time they kicked it on the ground, and the Jayhawks made sure with such an electric return man like Kevin Coleman, they weren't going to get any type of big kick return.
How about Laquan Robinson? He's a guy that has shown himself to be very physically, defensively. He's had, I think, was nicked up a little bit early in camp, but he sprints down there and makes that play. And just like I mentioned, Bengali Kamara is in at linebacker.
Drive will begin on the 18-yard line. What a comeback by Bengali Kamara. Now what can he bring? Handoff. They shed a tackle and bring it across the 20 up near the 24-yard line that time. They go to Jamal Roberts on this drive after it was Ahmad Hardy for the 32-yard touchdown on the previous drive. He winds up gaining 6, does Roberts.
Bengali Kamara was putting pressure or blitz off the opposite side, so they ran away from Kamara, had some more success getting a push from the offensive line, and a good fit first down pickup.
Bo Pribula in shotgun formation, running back on his left hip, tied in tight to the right. They'll send a man in motion is Coleman. Fake a handoff to Coleman, little shovel pass to the tight end Norfleet. Trey Lathan's there though, and Norfleet goes down almost immediately, gains just 1, so they fake the handoff on a sweep play toward Coleman and shovel pass it straight forward. They're going to go up tempo, David, on 3rd and 3.
Yeah, but great tackle by Lathan.
Here they go, 5-step drop, flush to the left. This is where he's trouble. Tribula hit hard, he fumbles the ball. KU's got it, 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown Kansas. Touchdown Jayhawks. Mason Ellis forced the fumble. Austin Alexander scooped it up. And Kansas with an unbelievable defensive score.
Tribula took off after he had pressure. Gets up there, and Austin Alexander put his helmet on the ball. Mason Ellis gets it on one hop. Perfected right up into his arm. Sprints to the end zone, because Kansas go for 2 right here after the big defensive score.
So the Jayhawks with an unbelievable play on the scoop and score, popping Pribula, pouncing on the rock and taking it in. And now Laith Marjan, the extra point is up, and it is good. 14-6, Kansas in front. Daniels with a touchdown early. The defense a score of their own on Austin Alexander's scoop and score. Officially 28 yards on the fumble recovery return.
Yeah, 2 parts to that. Forcing the quarterback to run and scramble out of pressure, and then getting your head on the ball, and ball pounces up. Austin Alexander fielded it, but Mason Ellis causes it. Alexander gets it off the carom, and the Jayhawks answer with a big defensive score.
Kansas 14, Missouri 6. More coming up on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, college football fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fans section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
KU football lives here. This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
No matter your level of play, LMH Health and Ortho Kansas provide championship care to all members of the Lawrence community and beyond. Our experts in sports medicine and orthopedic care have partnered on the field with athletes for more than 45 years, providing innovative treatments and therapies for athletes of all ages. Call us at 785-843-9125 or visit lmh.org/orthokansas to learn more. LMH Health, a partner for lifelong health.
KU supports our Kansas community. The University of Kansas provides statewide medical outreach, first responder training, childhood development support, and economic gains amounting to over $7 billion every year. Kansas Jayhawks serve the world as doctors, teachers, business owners, social workers, and more to create a better future. Visit ku.edu to learn how the world is safer, healthier, and stronger because of what KU creates.
Back in live in Columbia and Kansas. Strut to get stuff here early. A 14-6 Jayhawk lead. As difficult to watch as the first defensive drive was, with multiple missed tackles, including Austin Alexander. Baptism by fire here on the road, his first road start of his career. But one drive later, Mason Ellis with the big hit. Austin Alexander, Johnny on the spot, a scoop and score touchdown from 28 yards out. And just like that, suddenly it's Missouri who's on its heels. Suddenly it's Prabula and company not feeling so confident. The Jayhawks have rattled off 14 consecutive points.
Yeah, Prabula scrambling out of pressure. That's where his comfort zone is. But this time it was all about that tackle. Mason Ellis with his helmet hitting the ball right where Prabula was carrying the ball at his midsection. Ball comes out, and sometimes the ball bounces in erratic ways away from you. You don't have a chance to pick it up, but Austin Alexander right there. Johnny on the spot picks it up, and Kansas, bang, bang, with a lead by 8.
14-6 Jayhawks in front. The wind, which is not a huge factor. Gentle breeze blows the ball off the kicking tee, so Marjan will scoop it back up and kick it off here. But how about the first defensive score for Kansas since the Kobe Bryant fumble recovery versus BYU? Remember that big truck stick hit we were talking about? That just plow job they did to jar the ball loose from the Cougars that day, and then Kobe scoops it up and scores as well. This is our first defensive TD in almost 2 years. This time the kickoff is high end over end, goes over the head of the Tiger return men and out the back of the end zone, landing between the T and the I, and Tigers in diamond formation in those black end zones at Faurot Field. 14-6, Kansas in front. Tigers will take it on the 25-yard line, and suddenly this crowd that was listening to Mr. Brightside doing all their chants pregame, they are in stunned silence right now. You can hear the band playing, but everybody else sitting on their hands. 14 unanswered by the visitors from Lawrence.
Yeah, Bengali Kamara in on that last series, once that ended in a big Kansas touchdown.
3 receivers set. One on the far side, 2 on the near. They hand it off. It's stuffed is Hardy. Kansas right there with Leroy Harris. A great job by Lathan and Harris combining on the stuff, and it's Ahmad Hardy for no gain on first down.
The best 2 tackles defensively has been awarded to Trey Lathan, West Virginia transfer, whose sidekick for the Mountaineers plays for Missouri, but he is showing up for the visitors today.
Trotter and Lathan, teammates a year ago in Morgantown, rivals here today. 3 receivers set. Prabula, 3-step drop, pressure at his feet. Will he go down? Yes! Tommy Dunn had him around the ankles, held him up, and then got some help from his friends, but that play was blown up by Tommy Dunn.
Tommy Dunn got there, wrapped up his feet. Prabula tried everything to get his feet out from Tommy Dunn. Dunn was not letting him go. John Kamara finishes off Prabula.
They credit Dunn with the sack, but you're right, John was the guy that ultimately took him all the way to the ground. So that brings up a 3rd down and 13 for the Tigers. First down would come at the 35-yard line of Mizzou. It's 14-6 Kansas, 5:40 to go here in the first quarter of play. Prabula in the gun, 3 receivers to his right, 3-step drop, flush to the right, here comes pressure. Harris wants him, gets loose of the ball, it's caught, but well short of the sticks. Norfleet, the tight end, hauls it in for a gain of 4, but Leroy Harris was breathing down the neck that time of Bo Prabula, and he rides into the ground as Prabula just picks up 4 to the tight end, Norfleet.
Leroy Harris displays his speed right there. Prabula known for his speed at the quarterback position. Harris, 6'6", 255 pounds, runs him down from behind and causes him to throw to the short receiver.
There was trouble in Columbia The locals are restless right now as it's 14-6 Kansas, and the Hawks are getting the ball back. Short punt. Nagy catches it on a bounce at the 25-yard line, makes two Tigers miss. Still on his feet. Here he goes. Tate Nagy around the left end and forced out of bounds near midfield at the 49-yard line. What a return by the true freshman, Tate Nagy.
I mean, he plays like a veteran fifth-year guy, right? Not going to be worked up by the crowd, does a little hesitation, stop, move, reverses his field, picks up a block, and carries it all the way out to right at midfield. Kansas will take over with an 8-point lead. My, have things changed in the last three possessions.
No doubts. Of course, his dad, Matt Nagy, the Chiefs OC, flying back from Brazil, probably tuned in and watching his son with a big-time kick return right there to put the Jayhawks all the way up to the 49-yard line, their own. Now they back him up a couple of yards and replace the ball down at the 47-yard line. Officially a 48-yard punt and a 23-yard return for Nagy. Empty backfield. 5 receivers set. Chest high snap. Daniels going to take off to run, but Mizzou right there to snip it out. Ball came out at the end of the play, but they say his knee was down. Tigers claiming they have the ball, but this crew emphatically signaling that his knee was down before the ball came out, and that was right in front of Lance Leipold, who's wearing all blue today with black pants, and very clearly a gain of 3, knee down before the fumble.
Quarterback draw. They're going to take a look at that, but need to do a better job on the linebacker. Amir Herring wasn't able to stay on that block because I thought initially with Enrique Cruz pulling from right tackle up into the hole, it had a chance to open up. BMAC, your thoughts on that play, but also can you confirm for us that JD was down before ball comes out?
He definitely fumbled, but Amir Herring got up with the ball, unless I missed something.
So looking at our first glimpse of the replay here, he was spun around and it looked like the tailbone hits the ground.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see the ball jarred loose before that because the camera angle we're seeing is behind the play. We finally get a side view here, but there's a cluster of bodies all around as he's twisting and contorting to the ground. This is going to be hard to overturn unless there's an angle we're not seeing.
To BMAC's point, it looks like Herring. The ball does come out before he is down. So we can determine that. But it looks like Herring had the best opportunity to pounce on that.
Yes, now the third camera angle does indeed reveal the ball coming out with his tailbone still above the turf. But BMAC, you're convinced Herring had it?
Yeah, he was the first on the scene. He got up with the ball, so I don't know what. They must be reviewing for clear recovery. Amir had the ball, and on the replay, he's the first to the ball. So it looks like a clear recovery no matter what.
Television broadcast is only showing angles of the fumble itself. They've been stopping it. The replay, that is, short of the recovery.
The ball was fumbled and recovered by the offense. It'll be second down at the 48-yard line.
B-Mac, you nailed it, buddy. Best eyes on the scene, best sidelines in the game. You thought it was Herring, and sure enough, he bails out Daniels, reaching forward to save that ball.
So now Kansas, good field positions. You're in 4-down territory. Looks like the ball moved back a little bit when it came out. Are they faced with what? A 2nd and 9.
So he ran it for 3 yards forward, but only gains 1 after the fumble bounced 2 yards the wrong direction. 2nd and 9, ball on the 48-yard line of Mizzou. Daniels, deep drop, pumps once, checks it down short, and no catch, they say. He tried to throw short to the tight end, Brune, that time, who tried to scoop it up off this AstroTurf surface. He could not, and so now 3rd and 9, and the crowd re-engaged. Kansas leading 14-6, 4:05 to go in the first. Big third down coming up here, and the Jayhawks 0 for 2 on third downs today.
Yeah, Missouri bringing one extra guy off of the edge, putting some pressure on JD. The ball, it was thrown a little bit higher. Kansas could have caught it, maybe picked up close to first down yardage.
First down would come at the 43 of Mizzou. Daniels, plenty of time, deep ball, looking for Wentz over the top. He's got him at the 5, all the way down to the 2. What an unbelievable throw. Daniels right on the money to Wentz, and it is 1st and goal for Kansas.
I mean, he's manned up out there with Carnell. a very fast free safety, and he is open, but it is outstretched arms catch over the shoulder. He holds on.
They will hand it off on first down, hit right at the line of scrimmage. Still churning is Hishaw, the pile being pushed from behind, but he'll be stopped shy at the 1 yard line. But this crowd sitting in stunned silence as the Jayhawks are 3 feet away from a third consecutive touchdown. 14-6 Kansas, 2nd and goal from the 1 coming up.
What concentration by Wentz. The ball was thrown out there. He outstretched arms. He's flying down as fast as he can. He makes that grab. Guys, that was 3rd and long. What a play. JD to Wentz.
A tight end tight to the right is Broom. Cure comes in motion. Give us to Hishaw. Burrows his way to the goal line, but they're saying stopped just short. Less than a foot. It's going to be 3rd and goal from just outside the goal line for Kansas, wearing white tops, red pants, and right now wearing big smiles on their faces. Can they punch it across for a 3rd straight score?
Yeah, and going that far will put him into the end zone. I like that play. You're not going to get any loss on that play. Get some momentum up front. Have your big guys do a little pushing and shoving, and you got one of the best short yardage backs in the country.
You don't see Jalen Daniels sneak a lot. This time he does. This time he scores. Touchdown, Kansas. Jalen Daniels behind right guard takes it in. It's 3 in a row for KU. 20-6, Kansas.
Back to back to back. What a drive. And again, it's that key 3rd and long throw from JD to Levi Wentz that put them right down next to the goal line, and then Kansas pounds it in, doing a better job on the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, and now you've got a stunned crowd here at Memorial Stadium.
What a drive for Kansas. 6 plays, 53 yards, 2:33 off the clock. The big play, of course, the 3rd and 9 deep ball connection to Levi Wentz. Just a perfect throw. Wentz leaping up to make the grab and taking it all the way down to the 3-yard line. And now we await the extra point of Laith Marjan after 3 consecutive touchdowns for Kansas. And listen in, you can hear some Rock Chalk Jayhawk chants going on.
Under review.
They're under review. I thought JD clearly crossed the goal line before he was shoved back.
While they review, let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Jayhawk Football. Well, this will be the second replay review of this same drive. The previous one was on a Daniels fumble that replay determined KU did recover. This time, it looked like he was clearly across. He was then pushed all the way back to the 4-yard line. David, what do you see your second glimpse at this?
I see Brune that had the block that put him into the end zone. I see the ball crossing the line of the end zone. That's all you have to do is break it. And then he's quickly shoved back. I really don't know what the delay is about.
And you don't have a clear angle that shows the ball short or across.
Right.
So that's where the call on the field, that initial ruling of a touchdown, is of paramount importance here. His back is turned from the sideline angle on this side of the field, the Missouri side, through the Kansas sideline angle. It's all Jersey.
Ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's Brune's block on the linebacker. That's what did it. Tremendous job. Brune's a big guy, tied in, 6'6", 255 pounds, and he comes down and pushes that linebacker back. Enrique Cruz, the right tackle. They work together on that play.
About 20 career rushing touchdowns for Jalen Daniels, the first of his 6th-year senior season, but that's number 20, and it comes at Mizzou. Laith Marjan, good snap, good hold by Graydon Addison. The kick is up and true. 3 consecutive Kansas touchdowns. Stunned silence here in Columbia for 57,000 plus. The KU band is playing. The Rock Chalk chant was blaring earlier. And the Tigers searching for answers right now as the Hawks have rattled off 21 unanswered points.
All this right in front of the Jayhawks section to the extreme left of the Jayhawk team. I mean, they are celebrating total yards now. Missouri 82 and getting about 95% of that on their first drive. Kansas 123 passing. Kansas 102 of that through the air. Missouri 28. Penalties, just one for the game, and that was against Missouri. But it was third downs. Missouri 0 for 2, Kansas 2 for 4. But the third down, third and about 9, pass from Jalen Daniels to Levi Wentz, led perfectly, thrown perfectly, but still a tough catch when you're sprinting down the field, outstretched arms over the shoulder. He brings it in, cradles the ball to the ground.
And you hate to say it, but that's a play Kansas hasn't made in recent seasons. They've had the perfect throw, but you've had a drop on the receiving end time and time again, especially in big settings like this. Levi Wentz, the veteran transfer out of UAlbany, jumps up and makes that play, and Kansas punches it in 3 plays later for a 6-play, 53-yard drive.
Well, it's early on, but how much does this resemble the North Carolina game that watched on the holiday, where they come out, look great, score a touchdown, and then TCU just matches and just totally dominates the game. It's been 3 in a row for Kansas, so a ways to go to say, domination, but can they continue this effort?
Today's Storage Mart Border Showdown is brought to you by Storage Mart, the official storage partner of Kansas Athletics. After the ball blew off the tee for the second consecutive kickoff, they put a finger down, and this one will be caught at the 1-yard line, but momentum carrying into the end zone for a touchback. We'll see Mizzou take it at the 25-yard line, suddenly searching for answers. If you're just joining us, KU lost the opening coin toss. Mizzou elected to defer. Kansas got the ball, but went just 3 and out, had to punt. Tigers march right down the field, get a big rushing score of 32 yards from their Louisiana Monroe star running back transfer Ahmad Hardy. And you're thinking, oh brother, we've seen this before. But Kansas has answered back with 3 consecutive touchdowns, including a 28-yard scoop and score by Austin Alexander on a hard-hit forced fumble by the pride of Mulvane, Kansas, Mason Ellis. Daniels with a passing TD and a rushing TD. Handoff Hardy. He'll take it right side and take a couple of Jayhawks with him across the 30-yard line, gaining close to 6 on first down. Ahmad Hardy with a nice start there for Mizzou.
And still plenty of time just to run the ball, but I can see if you're a fan, you start saying, wow, we're down a little bit more than 2 scores. We need to throw the football. This is probably what Missouri does best, at least early on. Run Hardy.
21-6 Kansas, 1:45 and ticking to go here in the first quarter. 2 receivers and a tight end tight to the left. They turn, hand it off. Kansas right there with great pursuit. This time they get to him, and they'll pull down Hardy for a loss of 1. Tommy Dunn in on the play. 3 total Jayhawks swarm tackling there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for the Tigers.
But it's Keenan Caldwell who absolutely comes up the field and forces Hardy inside into the arms of Kansas on the defensive side to Tommy Dunn. So how about those defensive tackles? Dunn and Caldwell.
Tigers 0 for 2 on 3rd downs today. 3 receivers wide to the right. They bring the running back, who was initially lined up as a receiver, Roberts, back to the left tip of Perbula. Ball on the left hash. First down would come at the Mizzou 35. 3rd and 5 here. Kansas showing blitz. 4 receivers set, including the tight end. Perbula plants, fires, thrown short, caught, first down and more. 2 tackles broken, and they're across midfield. That's going to be a pickup of 20 yards on 3rd and 5. An excellent catch and run by the Mississippi State transfer, Kevin Coleman.
Yeah, and the official got in the way of the defense for Kansas. I mean, he's right there and really kind of shades off our defensive back, Taylor Davis. And that's just, they're a part of the game, so that's going to go with you and against you at times, but it hurt Taylor Davis's coverage of that.
Coleman was 3rd team All-SEC a year ago, had outstanding numbers with Mississippi State, including 932 receiving yards. Here's a ball tipped, nearly picked by Bengali Kamara. He'll get credited for a pass defended, but here comes a penalty flag on the other end of the play.
Yeah, it had to have been some kind of personal foul.
The throw was broken up over the middle, but the flag is down at the 35-yard line, closer to the left sideline. Crowd reacting as if it's against Kansas. We'll wait from referee Mike McCabe.
It's DJ Graham.
Pass interference on the play. The ball was tipped.
Yeah, you can't have that. I mean,
second down.
Unless it was a personal foul, you can't have interference on a tipped ball, and it certainly was tipped.
And I was waiting on maybe a defensive hold or something, but that was not the case, and so no penalty. And as a result, ball back to the 50-yard line. But again, can't undersell this enough. Nobody expected Bengali Kamara to play in this game. Many thought he's going to be out at least a month. The fact that he misses just the Wagner contest and is back today, one of the all-time gritty, gutted-out performances to make it back on the field. Handoff, Roberts, left side, stood up and pushed back. Another great play, and Tommy Dunn once again in the thick of it for Kansas. Brinkley as well. Roberts had nowhere to go on that left side, maybe a gain of 1.
Yeah, we're just lining up Finkley on the line of scrimmage with those big tackles and doing much better.
They may have a free play on 3rd and 9 as Kansas was offsides. Pass completed right side, and that's going to be a first down gainer. Graham on the stop, but a chain mover comes first. Mizzou finds Lloyd inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line. And Perbula, little pitch and catch that time to move the sticks.
Yeah, Graham did not react to that stop route about 5 yards. They were able to catch, spin.
Result to play, the first down.
They'll turn down that offsides penalty, so Missouri,
the first quarter,
after that big 3rd down pickup, finds some momentum going their way at the end of the first quarter.
B-Mac, they do indeed have some momentum, Mizzou does, but boy, Kansas, 3 consecutive scores. What have you experienced of the atmosphere and the environment in the midst of this 21 unanswered run by the visitors?
The environment has been exceptional. I talked in the Crimson and Blue show about 3rd downs, and you can see that manifesting. Joe Perbula has just not faced a lot of 3rd downs. So what you've noticed is on 2nd down, they're running tempo into 3rd down to try to catch KU in a personnel grouping. Good sign for Kansas moving forward and their ability to fend 3rd and 5+. I like their chances.
Tigers will have a 1st and 10 from the Kansas 34-yard line when we come back, but it's 21-6 Jayhawks at the end of 1 quarter here in Columbia. We waited 14 long years for this. The Storage Mart Border Showdown has finally returned, and Kansas, looking to take down Mizzou for the first time since 2008, has a 2-score lead entering the 2nd quarter. It's the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
The Kansas Jayhawks are proud to partner with the Drive to Zero Coalition, who invites you to join Jayhawk fans with a plan. It's simple. If you are going to be drinking, hop on Safe Ride. Use your favorite rideshare app or plan ahead for your designated driver. True Blue Jayhawks don't drink and drive. Together, KU fans with a plan can prevent serious crash injuries and fatalities. This message is brought to you by the Kansas Department of Transportation and all the victims of impaired driving crashes.
KU's gonna win it!
This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
21-6 Kansas as we head to quarter number 2. Mizzou's on the move right now, trying to get up off the mat themselves, but what a response by Kansas. Down 6-0 early, they've rattled off 3 consecutive scores, David. This is something unlike we've seen in quite some time.
And certainly this high-dollar offense by Missouri, you've got to continue to make stops. So just forward thinking with Brandon McAnderson, I like the advantage what we have with Tommy Dunn, Keenan Caldwell, and DJ Withers inside. When Kansas is making big plays against the run, it's those three that pierce the line of scrimmage and really screw up context.
It's hard to stretch when you got defensive tackles forcing the issue the way this Kansas front has.
1st and 10 for Mizzou. Ball on the 34-yard line of Kansas. First down would come at the 24. Receivers a pair to the left, though they send a man in motion here in Coleman. Little pop pass hauled in, but Bengali Kamara right there, and he's going to actually lose a couple of yards. That'll be a TFL for a -2 play. Kamara again making an immediate impact in his return to the lineup.
Well, I don't want to make a bigger deal of it till the end of the game, but this is how legends are made. The guy that's not supposed to play and already in the game, he's got a key deflection and a TFL to pin Missouri back for 2nd and long.
The Pitt transfer many thought could be KU's best defender throughout the year. He's looked at today. Here's a nice shake and bake move by Mizzou, and they're inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. Hardy says, "Feed me more," in that Ezekiel Elliott celebratory fashion there. But he's shy of the stick, so don't celebrate too soon. It'll still bring up a 3rd and 3 for Mizzou.
That TFL was huge because that does not get them the first down, as you point out, as Rawls was able to make the tackle down the field. But getting this Ahmad Hardy down is no easy feat. Again, 1,000 yards after contact last year. After contact, 1,000 yards.
3rd and 3. Handoff. Hardy hit short of the line, still churning, and he's near the sticks. I think he's got it. What a great second effort by Ahmad Hardy. He talked about all that he did at the Sun Belt level after contact. He's doing that to a Big 12 defense right there. Hit after a gain of 1. He winds up with a gain of 4.
Oh, Bengali. Kamara had him in the backfield, but again, you can't get your hands around the waist. You got to get down in the legs unless you're getting some help. But Hardy brought a load, broke a tackle.
Looked like Lyric Rawls was in there trying to go for the strip as well. And Kansas ultimately gives up a chain mover to Hardy. 1st and 10 for Mizzou. Ball just inside the Kansas 24. Jayhawks leading it 21-6. 2 receivers to the right. They send a man in motion. Give is to Hardy. Hit behind the line. Swarm tackled and taken down. Great pursuit by the right side of the Kansas defensive front. He had to change directions. Keenan Caldwell was down there at his ankles. And ultimately Hardy, no gain.
Yeah, it's the tackles. Keenan Caldwell and DJ Withers. I mean, they are not moving them back. DJ was on the other side of the line of scrimmage with the offensive guard and then just kind of ran into him to bring him down.
12:40 and ticking here in the second quarter, 21-6. Kansas. 2nd and 10 for Mizzou. First down would come at the Kansas 13. 3-step drop, penalty flag. Ball pass left side and caught at the 12-yard line. They've got the first down for the moment. Did Kansas jump across offsides? Indeed they did, and they'll decline that penalty. It's going to be 1st and just outside the 10.
Offside. Defense number 1. That penalty is declined. Result to play is a first down.
So Bengali, who's had a couple of great plays, had a couple that have gone against him on this drive, but Kansas now at the 10-yard line have a chance to stick their foot in the ground, force a field goal try.
Is this 1st and goal, or is this 1st and 10 and a first down would come 6 inches outside of the goal line?
Yes, that's it.
How about that? The latter. From the pistol, Mizzou with Prabula keeping, trying to get to the left edge. He will not. Flushed out of the pocket, working left side. Kansas was there with Graham, and that'll be a loss of 1. 2nd and 11 coming up. Prabula with nowhere to go.
Well, Graham and Rawls were out there, but, you know, Graham is taking on a block by the wide receiver, defeating the block and tackling the quarterback at the same time. That's a great play by DJ Graham.
2nd and 11. 2 backs in the backfield with Prabula. 2 receivers wide to the right. They will hand it off to Hardy. Hit at the 8-yard line, falls forward near the 6-yard line. He had 1 man to beat. Kansas able to chop him down at the 6. It's going to be 3rd and about 6 yards to go. Again, they can pick up a first just shy of the goal line. But this is 3rd down, and if Kansas holds them to 3 or less here, what do? Does Mizzou take the points or try to go for it?
I think they go for it because They're not playing with the top kicker. I mean, if you can't trust him for a PAT make, when you got to have points, I think you go for it.
Craig the Leg, as they call him, done for the season with a torn ACL in week 1. Handoff, KU right there, snuffing it out and taking down Hardy. He gets to the 4 and no more. Just a gain of 2. It'll be 4th and about 3.5 yards to go, and a big decision for Coach Drinkwitz right here.
Yeah, this is quite a few yards, but it's all about those tackles, holding the line of scrimmage, and then Trey Lathan makes the play.
So Robert Meyer, the backup kicker, will not come out on the field. They could pick up a first just shy of the goal line. They need 4 full yards to get there. They send Coleman in motion. They throw his way, wide open, touchdown Tigers.
It was a pick. Not going to call that, though. It's a rub route.
A little rub route to the left side. Kansas was held up on the play, but ultimately the Tigers rolled the dice on 4th down and 4 from just inside the 5, and they get the touchdown to the Mississippi State transfer, Coleman.
Yeah, well-timed play, as they had a wide receiver out there in Marquise Johnson, who made contact, knocked our corner back and off of his path, and then the receiver ran underneath that. So well-timed, did not get the offensive pass interference. The Tigers. Gamble.
This time the extra point is good. So after their previous PAT from Robert Meyer was blocked, a little more ideal trajectory on this kick. It's up and true, and the Tigers are on the board, halting a 21 consecutive points scored run by Kansas. It's now 21-13 Jayhawks.
Talked about special teams. Advantage Kansas, but Missouri, without their kicker, has been denied a PAT. Forced to gamble on 4th and 5. They're not going to make all those, and Kansas already with a nice kickoff return that sets up a short field. So special teams, you like the way the game is trending.
15 plays on the drive, 75 yards, 7:03 off the clock, and ultimately it was from 4 yards out. A little rub route to Coleman gets the Tigers back in the end zone. 21-13, Kansas leading it. 21-13 Jayhawks. 10:10 to go here in half number 1. First half action is brought to you by Merit Trust Credit Union, the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. Proudly serving Jayhawk fans and the Lawrence community. Federally insured by the NCAA. Well, the Tigers are back within 1 score. The crowd is back in the ball game. 21-13 Kansas on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Oh, did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Kansas football all season long.
Touchdown, Kansas!
This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Gorgeous day for college football here in Columbia, Missouri. 75 degrees, few clouds in the sky, but it's sunny, and I'll tell you what's even prettier than the weather. 21-13 Kansas, but Mizzou just scored on a 15-play, 75-yard touchdown drive in which they converted on 4th and 4 from inside the 5. What will KU's response be? Emmanuel Henderson collects the ensuing kickoff at the 5, splits 2 Tigers at the 24, and then is wrestled to the ground to the Mizzou sideline near the 25-yard line, thrown down hard on that side of the field. He knows all about SEC venues, having played at Alabama. And Henderson looks to be no worse for the wear. Gets up and heads back to the Kansas huddle. Hawks will take it on the 25, David.
Yeah, talking to the Missouri radio crew, they did not see much of Henderson in the last meeting with Alabama. And Henderson is just trying to make a play, getting the return out to the 25, so no gain, no loss, then getting the fair catch.
Hawks need to get the ground game going. Just 21 rushing yards thus far, but JD's been great through the air. 102 passing yards. A drop back. He's in trouble. Stumbles to the ground. May have lost the ball. It's being kicked about. It's rolling to the end zone. KU scoops it up, and JD is slow in getting up. KU pounces on it for a safety, but Daniels, who was backpedaling awkwardly, spun to the ground, landed on the ball. The ball came out, and KU saves 4, maybe 5 points by hustling back and pouncing on it in the end zone for a safety.
Well, Missouri brought a linebacker off of the edge. We'll see when the ball comes out from JD. I've got to take a look at this.
Was his knee down when the ball came out? It was Kobe Baines that saved what could have been a defensive score. We're getting our first replay of this. But you're right, pressure had Daniels heated up. He was backpedaling and stumbling awkwardly. And yeah, the ball comes out before he goes down. He put it down below his waist. And as he was coming to the ground, I think his knee knocked it out of his grasp.
So Kansas had a couple of people that could have picked up Pride, the corner that was coming off of the edge, but neither do. Highshaw was there, and you had Pickett crossing the field. One of those guys has to pick up Pride, the outside unblocked rusher who caused the fumble and essentially the 2-point conversion. B-Mac, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought there was a clear, with the play fakes, I thought Jalen should have bailed on that play and threw it at one of their feet, but that's that's part of the Jalen Daniels play, is that he believes he can make a play. That was a dead play. The guy made a play. Lucky to give up only the 2 points.
That's right. Credit Kobe Bryant. That jumping on that ball, I mean, that's 5 points. You do have to give up possession here. So Kansas will need good conversion. They're having a hard time with that ball staying on the tee.
Kobe Baines saving the day in the end zone there. They credited Zion Young forcing the fumble with all that pressure on Daniels. And I like what B-Mac said, David. That's part of the Jalen Daniels experience, right? He's not just going to immediately throw it at the feet and live to play another down. Sometimes his ability to extend the play is what's marvelous about Daniels after all, but this time it bites Kansas where it hurts. A loss of 2 points, and Mizzou gets the ball. Kickoff here is going to be caught at the 5-yard line. They'll bring it straight up the gut, and it's going to be a wrestle down play at the 29-yard line for a gain of 24. Vedral, the backup linebacker out there on special teams, able to wrestle the Tigers to the turf that time, and it was Boreas Jones that brought it out from the 5-yard line on the kick return.
What a job by Marjan, though. I mean, you're kicking off from the 20, and Missouri takes over inside of their own 30-yard line. That just talks about special teams and what you're able to do there.
It was indeed a nice field flipper by Marjan. That's a great point. And as now we look at the stats updating here following that huge negative play. You referenced the Hawks had only mustered 21 offensive yards on the ground. Now they're -4 rushing yards. Here's a play action drop back for Pabula. Looks to go deep down the left sideline, throws it to double coverage, and it's broken up, incomplete. Great job there for Taylor Davis, and the Tiger they were trying to hook up with is slow in getting up. Johnson was the intended target. He is face down on the turf, now rolls over on his back. B-Mac, you're over on that sideline. What did you see as Johnson couldn't haul it in with Taylor Davis right there?
A timely left hand from Taylor Davis, perfectly timed. You saw Lyric Rawls in recovery, but Taylor Davis had full sight of it, got that left hand in there. Marquise Johnson looks like he was looking at a left ankle.
Johnson's now up and hobbling over to the Missouri sideline. Now he's running. He initially was hopping on one foot. Of course, he's the guy that had the 49-yard touchdown reception on a deep post in week 1, the first touchdown of Bo Perbula's career. Now he's going back to hobbling on one foot and goes straight into the MU Healthcare medical tent. So they'll assess that, probably tape him up and put him right back out there. And we're going to get a timeout on the field.
What a play. I agree with B-Mac. Taylor Davis, picture perfect coverage with that left hand over the top.
9:35 to go here in the first half. Momentum is shifted to the black and gold. They got the 75-yard, 15-play scoring drive, followed up with a safety defensively. Suddenly it's just a 6-point KU lead. 21-15 Kansas. 9:35 to go here in the second on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
Just like Lance Leipold and his coaching staff place their best players in the right positions for success, so does the Brush Group with our multi-company marketing team of Sun Graphics, Dunleavy Litho, and Brush Art Corporation. Sun Graphics is the proud printing partner of Kansas Athletics and is known for marketing support that is nothing short of exceptional. Make sure you're scoring a touchdown with all your marketing efforts by contacting Sun Graphics today, proud sponsor of Kansas Athletics.
This weekend, Kohl's is giving away millions in Kohl's Cash in store. It's like you're getting free shopping money. At least that's what I tell my husband. Yep, you're just making smart financial decisions, one trendy sweater at a time. Plus, all month, enter our online sweepstakes at Kohls.com for a chance to win $200 Kohl's Cash. Some exclusions apply while supplies last. Giveaway ends September 7th. Sweepstakes ends September 30th, 2025. No purchase necessary. 20 winners per day. Limit one prize per person for entire sweepstakes. See Kohls.com for official rules and details.
He's got the speed. He's got room. He's going to score.
No one gets you closer to the game than Sirius XM College Sports Radio.
For the win. Got it. Let's go.
Tune in for news, talk, and analysis from the offseason through regular season and into the postseason. We've got your team covered anywhere you go.
Deep to center field. Oh, it's gone.
Get a free trial at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 2025.
Hey Jayhawk fans, it's Mason Fairchild, and you're listening to Kansas Jayhawks football on the Jayhawks Sports Network.
The old tight end Mason Fairchild, he's a Kansas kid. He knows about the Border Showdown series. He'd be proud of this one today. Great to have the Storage Mart Border Showdown back after 14 long years apart. Right now, the visitors from Lawrence enjoying a 21-7 lead, 21-15 I should say. 21-15 Kansas. 9:35 to go here in the second quarter, but Mizzou with some momentum of late. They've scored the game's last 9 points, and right now they have 2nd and 10 on their own 30.
Yeah, both quarterbacks with a turnover, a fumble, one resulting in a touchdown for Kansas and the other a safety for Missouri. Thus, Kansas has this 21-15 lead. They also missed the PAT, which was big.
4 receivers set, 2 on the far side, 2 on the near. Perbula may be changing the play, walking up to his center. Now they send the running back in motion wide right. Throws short, caught at the 35-yard line. Dancing around out there is Coleman. And Kamara will bring him down shy of the sticks. A gain of 9 will bring up 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, you had the 5-yard hitch, and then you had a deeper out. They went to the short one and could pick up after the catch.
3rd and short. They keep it on the ground, rush it behind left guard, and they'll pick up a couple and move those chains. Another Tiger first down. That'll be good for their 11th of the ball game. How about that? 11 Mizzou first downs, just 4 for Kansas.
Missouri running some tempo occasionally. That time they ran it, did a good job of picking up some yards. So yeah, been some good movement on the line of scrimmage for the Tigers. Kansas, their best hope is in that interior front 3.
1st and 10 for Mizzou. Perbula, 5-step drop, steps up to tuck and run. He's got nothing but green turf in front. He's across midfield and slides near the 47-yard line of Kansas. He'll pick up 12, maybe 13. It's a first down again, their 12th of the ball game. And the Tigers are now inside KU territory with a chance to possibly go up once again.
That was perfect timing by Perbula. He waited back in the pocket. As soon as those linebackers disappeared, safeties went deep. He saw the opening and went right up the field.
First and 10 for the Tigers. Handoff. They cut it back with Hardy. Boy, he is shifty, and he dives inside the 45 to the 44-yard line, maybe all the way near the 43. Tremendous shake move and cutback to pick up close to 5 on first down.
Yeah, it's Jason Gilliam. It's good to see him in there. He, along with Mason Ellis, were able to bring him down, but a nice pickup on first down. The Tigers find themselves in 4-down territory, and they were very successful on the 4th down to score a touchdown.
21-15, KU leading. Empty backfield, 5 wide set. Quick drop, short throw, complete over the middle. Trey Lathan right there, but they'll only pick up a couple. Down to the 40, make it the 39-yard line. They're going to be about 2 yards shy of the sticks. Trey Lathan with 6 tackles already for the former West Virginia Mountaineer.
Yeah, he has been everywhere, and that's just a short pass coming out of the slot. Tiger caught it, but Lathan was right there, did not allow him to fall forward, and that was big, prevented him from making the first.
Scoreboard saying 3rd and 1. So a long one here for the Tigers. They brought Perbula for a second up under center. Now he backs up into the pistol. 2 receivers wide to his right. Hardy is the running back. The give is to Hardy. Makes 2 Hawks miss. He's got the first down and more. Bounces off another Hawk. Coughs up the ball, but Mizzou pounces on it at the 31, and they will retain possession. Boy, he was so good in breaking 3 tackles, but then for the first time today, Hardy fumbles. KU did not, however, get the fortuitous bounce.
Yeah, it was Lathan that got in there with the early pressure, but Hardy kept going, but dropped the ball. Those recovered fumbles by your offensive line, those are huge.
Right tackle Keegan Trost saved the day for Mizzou and keeps this drive alive on the fumble recovery. 6:05 to go before halftime. 21-15. Kansas in front in the Storage Mart Border Showdown. 3 receivers set, tight end tight to the right. Give is to Hardy, upended, taken down. Bengali Kamara again. A second tackle for loss by the guy that wasn't supposed to be here, but a miraculous comeback from injury, and he is really bringing the lumber.
Absolutely, comes off the edge, lines up off the edge, beats the block of the tight end. It was really a poor effort by Norfleet, the tight end, and he just whiffed on Kamara, who makes the Tigers pay.
5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 pass breakup for a guy that many thought would miss multiple weeks. From the pistol, 5-step drop. In trouble, under pressure, down he goes. Perbula taken down back at the 35-yard line. The pocket was collapsing around him, and Leroy Harris brings down Bo, and Mizzou will face a 3rd and 14.
Yeah, Leroy Harris beats the block of the left tackle and just grabs Perbula, wraps him up, and now pressure on the Tigers. Hard to say 4-down territory when you're faced such a big deficit, but they've been good on 3rd down thus far.
4 receivers set, 3rd and 14. The Tigers are 5 of 8 on 3rd down today. Short throw. They set up a screen pass to Coleman. Kansas right there, though, and they'll pull him down with Lyric Rawls wrestling Coleman to the turf at the 32-yard line. And that means they're still a good 11 yards shy of the sticks. You don't have a kicker you're confident in from that 48-yard range. So what do you do on 4th and about 10.5 yards?
Yeah, the yardage, you don't get anything out of a pooch punt, so you're going to go for it right here.
They have converted on 4th down before, but that was 4th and 4. This is 4th and close to 11. First down would come just outside the 20. 2 receivers wide to the left, 2 right side, and now a timeout taken by Coach Drinkwitz.
Well, another time where the absence of the Missouri kicker comes into play, because this would be about a 48-yard field goal, but they're not even going to look at that.
It was a torn ACL by Blake Craig, the kid they called Craig the Leg, away from the play, just kind of jetted the wrong way and his knee buckled, and next thing you know, his season is over for the redshirt sophomore out of Liberty North. And so Robert Meyer is the backup kicker. They brought in another young man late last week over the weekend from the state of Oklahoma who could factor in, but that is a major loss from their week 1 win over Central Arkansas, and it has affected multiple decisions here today. We got a timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. 4th and about 10.5 yards to go for Mizzou when we come back. 21-15 Kansas. 3:49 to go in the second quarter on the Storage Mart Border Showdown on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I am fabulous.
Oh, you mean like Kansas Lottery's Fabulous Fortune Instant Ticket Fabulous?
I mean like I speak 5 languages and come from old money fabulous.
Oh, well, Fabulous Fortune can lay some new money on you. 4 chances at $500,000 to be exact.
Talk more.
Fabulous Fortune also gives you a second chance at $500,000 with the Play On app.
I think I've been out fabulous.
Really?
No.
Okay, play Fabulous Fortune. See kslottery.com for details.
Hail to old KU. This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs. It's probably the best thing you do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, know it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Bud Light is a proud sponsor of Kansas Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. 21-15 Jayhawks. If you're just tuning in, Kansas was down 6-0 early. Rattled off 21 consecutive points, including a scoop and score by Austin Alexander on a Mason Ellis forced fumble. But ever since then, David, the last 9 points of this game have been scored by Mizzou. They got a 4th and about 10.5 here, and they would get the ball to start the 3rd. This is a huge play coming up.
Yeah, they've got a lot more total yards than Kansas, but they've run 19 more plays than the Jayhawks have, but this is a big one.
They're doubling up the Jayhawks exactly in total yardage right now, 196-98. Perbula, deep ball, right sideline, jump ball. Is it caught? Did he get a toe down? He did. Unbelievable catch hauled in by Alubade on a jump ball lob down the right sideline. That's the play of the game for Mizzou to this point.
Yeah, and the big turning point in this game is Mizzou's 2 4th down gambles, both paying off.
Handoff, Hardy rushing left side. Kansas there. Bengali Kamara tracking him down from behind, and he ran into the waiting arms of a couple of more Jayhawks around the left side. He's down to the 16-yard line, but it's a gain of just 1, maybe 1.5 for Hardy.
Yeah, the Tigers gambling on fourth and goal from about the 5-yard line, get a touchdown, and that was 4th and a little more than 10, and a very small window for Lubade. He brings it in for a first.
It can also bleed a lot more clock as we're down to 3:08 and ticking here in the second quarter. And again, they'll have possession to start the 3rd quarter. Play action drop back. They throw it short to the tight end Norfleet, puts his head down, plows through a Jayhawk, and gets right to the sticks. He should have it, and he does. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 7. Trey Lathan credited with the stop, but Norfleet, all 6'6", 263 of them, had enough power to surge forward to move the sticks.
Yeah, they simply let the outside receivers run down the coverage. Norfleet blocked for about 2.5 counts, then release. No linebackers there. Well-designed play. Good execution that time by MU.
1st and goal from the 7, from the pistol. They bring a man in motion. Hand off. Hardy. KU right there. He's going nowhere fast. They had Rawls and Graham able to take down the star tailback. No gain on the carry.
Yeah, look where they hit the running back Hardy. They hit him down right at the knees. And he just buckled under. So they came down low and grabbed the ankles.
Now does Kansas get a
2-minute timeout?
No, it's the 2-minute timeout. Jayhawks hanging on to theirs. They have all 3 remaining. They'd like to get the ball back and do something offensively before the end of the half because, as we said a couple of times now, Mizzou won the opening coin toss and elected to defer. Jayhawks sure have 21 points, David, but 7 of those came from the defense. And Jalen Daniels, prior to the fumble that led to a safety, was outstanding. 6 of 8 for 102 through the air and a rushing score, but just 98 yards of offense by Kansas.
Yeah, just 19 plays, so not many opportunities. That's been the big difference. So what's really been changed about the game since Kansas had the commanding lead, the 4th down gambles, both paying dividends for the Tigers.
21-15 Kansas. Mizzou will have it, 2nd and goal from the 7 when we come back. Jayhawks leading by 6, but clinging to that single score lead. You're listening to the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
I am the greatest fan in KU history.
I'm the greatest fan in K-State history.
I only wear crimson and blue.
I drive a purple car.
This will never be settled. That's why Kansas Lottery has the Rivalry Riches Scratch Ticket. You could win up to $50,000 instantly and great game day experiences through the Kansas Lottery Play-On app.
I have a Jayhawk tattooed on the arm of a Jayhawk that's tattooed on my arm.
All my children are named Willie. See kslottery.com for details.
KU supports our Kansas community. The University of Kansas provides statewide medical outreach, first responder training, childhood development support, and economic gains amounting to over $7 billion every year. Kansas Jayhawks serve the world as doctors, teachers, business owners, social workers, and more to create a better future. Visit ku.edu to learn how the world is safer, healthier, and stronger because of what KU creates.
This is the 2007 Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year, James McClinton. You're listening to Kansas Football on the Jayhawk Radio Network from Learfield.
It's one of David Lawrence's all-time favorite Jayhawks, James McClinton, from that Orange Bowl championship team. You know, J-Mac's loving this first half. 21-15 Kansas. The big guys in the trenches making some big-time plays for the Jayhawks, but so too has been Bengali Kamara. What a performance from a guy that was injured prior to the Wagner game and didn't know when we'd see him again. Not only is he back several weeks early, he has been a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, Kansas just 17 total plays, Missouri 40. So it's not been that Kansas hasn't been able to move the ball. They just haven't been able to occupy the clock. And the one defensive score, throw that in there. And 2 converted 4th downs by the Tigers. The first one resulting in a touchdown. And this one, Missouri is at the 7.
But as I was saying, 6 tackles, 3 tackles for loss out of a guy you didn't expect to be here. Incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Does Kamara have another big play up his sleeve right here? 2nd and goal from the 7. From the pistol is Prabula. Turns, gives to Hardy. Hit behind the line. Still fighting. And 3 Jayhawks will swarm tackle him down. Leroy Harris was one of them. Ultimately, no gain. That's what a load Hardy is to stop. But Kansas, assignment sound and defensively stout, had that play blown up from the word go.
And Tommy Dunn is the one that blew up the line of scrimmage. But then a lot of other Jayhawks got him involved. But 92, Tommy Dunn, he just pushed the center back right in the pocket.
3rd and goal from the 7. Harris lined up showing blitz left side. Prabula could be changing the play. We're down to 1:20 and ticking to go here in the first half. Hawks leading by 6. Prabula in the gun, sends Coleman in motion right to left. Now back to the right side. Prabula turns, lobs to the end zone. One-hand catch, incomplete. incomplete, and no penalty flag. They're begging for one right now with Marquise Johnson, but no flag, and it is 4th and goal from the 7. They're going to try a field goal after all.
Yeah, you can't believe there's a lot of confidence in the kicker, but good job. That was Kansas cornerback Jalen Todd, who did get a hand on the receiver early, but thankfully took that hand off of the receiver. No call.
All right, this is Robert Meyer, backup kicker. It'll be a 25-yard attempt along the left hash. He was perfect on extra points a week ago. Had one blocked today. Low kick on the way, but good. He converts from 25 yards out as fireworks go off, and Mizzou has now scored the game's last 12 points. It's a 3-point KU lead, 21-18 Kansas. Here's the good news. You're going to get the ball with 63 ticks left on that first half clock and all 3 timeouts. How aggressive will Kansas be here, especially knowing Mizzou has the ball to start the third?
Yeah, you've got a veteran quarterback, right? I mean, Jalen Daniels is the guy, so I think you can be in moderation as far as risk-taking early on, get a first down, and then go for it. A minute 3 and all timeouts remaining, correct?
Correct. And how about 8:40 off the clock on that drive? You keep talking about the play discrepancy. Time of possession looming large as well, as the Tigers have had 2 huge clock-chewing drives. That's becoming a big factor. 21 minutes and 21 seconds of possession for the Tigers. Just 7 minutes and 36 seconds of possession for Kansas. Jayhawks are leading because they have a defensive touchdown, but they could use some offensive fireworks to close out the half.
But that defense fought. They made it very difficult for Missouri. Ultimately just gave up 3.
Emmanuel Henderson receives the kickoff along the left hashes at the 7. Blocking on the right side. Makes one man miss, but then wrestled down by another back at the 23-yard line. And that's where Kansas will take it with now 56 seconds to go in the half. All 3 timeouts. And Jalen Daniels looking for some redemption after his fumble led to a safety and more Mizzou momentum.
Yeah, Henderson went right up the middle and then vaulted towards the sideline, towards the Kansas sideline, had one guy to beat, but ultimately dragged down 2 yards short of where the fair catch would have got them.
Daniels points to the heavens with both index fingers, claps his hands, now sends 3 receivers lining up left side. They had been stacked to the right. Hishaw the back. They throw short to Henderson, try to set up a screen, ran into his own man. That obviously stunted the play, and the Tigers will tackle him down after a gain of just 1. Tick, tick, tick goes the clock, and they're going to take a timeout.
Missouri.
And it's Mizzou taking the timeout. They're getting aggressive here. Let's see if Kansas can make them pay for that. Hawks still have all 3 of their timeouts. Tigers want the ball back and the ball to start the second half.
Well, let's make them regret that timeout. That was a wide receiver screen. Cam Pickett blocking for Emmanuel Henderson. Pickett had body on body, which is good, but Henderson ran into him, delayed the play, as you mentioned. Safety, corner were able to recapture the momentum and get back on the play.
Let's quickly pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Kansas Football. .49 seconds to go here in the first half. 21-18, Kansas narrowly leading Mizzou. 3 receivers set on 2nd and 9 for the pistol. Give is to Hishaw, rushing at right side. Stiff arms the Tiger. Can he get to the edge? Hit hard, forced out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And the clock will stop with 42 seconds on it as he was forced out. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 7 yards to go. Hey, if you're going to go on the road and win in an SEC stadium against a good team that's won 21 games the last 2 seasons, you got to be aggressive on plays like this one and pick it up with your 6th-year senior quarterback.
I agree. I mean, put JD in an opportunity to scramble, maybe like a quarterback draw. Coverage breaks down on the outside. 42 seconds remaining in the half.
Mizzou has made these types of plays. Can Kansas now make one of their own?
Kansas.
They're going to take a timeout and think about it here. But Mizzou obviously had the 4th and 11 they pick up on the one-handed catch by Alubade. They had the 4th and about 4 yards from inside the 5 that went for a touchdown to Coleman on the rub route. They've made the key plays here in the second quarter on down and distance scenarios where the odds were stacked against them. Kansas has not.
Yeah.
They lead, but they've not made those plays yet.
They made the big defensive play, and they made the Wentz touchdown, not touchdown grab, but the 50-yarder that he pulled in full stride over his left shoulder.
And that was a big third down play and a great example of one the Jayhawks have. But ever since then, talking about the second quarter of late, it's been all Mizzou on the timely plays on key money downs. Can Kansas deliver? Jayhawks 2 of 4 on third down today. This will be a 3rd and 8. First down would come at the 33-yard line. Daniels will keep himself rushing it left side, hit at the 29 and stop short. KU conservative there and tackle down after a gain of just 5. And we'll see what Mizzou does here. Do they take their final timeout? It appears they have.
3rd and final charge timeout, Missouri.
So this is just quarterback power off of a play fake, running around
the game clock,
left tackle.
38 seconds.
So not a lot of risk involved with that.
Not an aggressive call, you're right. It played a little bit more conservative there.
Coach Leipold trusts his defense, I think, and also knows, that he's got a punter in Lappin who can get a good, nice change of a field off of this punt.
If there's one silver lining to that play call, it does force Mizzou to use its final timeout. If you throw on 3rd and 8 and it's incomplete, they're getting the ball back with the clock stopped and one timeout in their back pocket. So that's part of the decision as well. But Mizzou right now playing with all the momentum. You would have loved to see Kansas at least get a first down or two on their final possession of this first half. Gentle breeze at the back of Finn Lappin, who's standing at the 15-yard line. Coleman, their kick returner in the punt game, is back near the 25-yard line of Mizzou. Chest high snap, straight on punt. Boomer back to the 20-yard line, fielded officially at the 21. He dances around, penalty flag comes in, and he goes down near the 24, make it 25-yard line for Coleman. But what's the marker behind the play?
Yeah, but it's not a face mask. It's an illegal block, which would pin Missouri back and maybe change how aggressive they can be.
They are indeed pointing in the direction of the Tigers.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 29. 10-yard penalty, first down Missouri.
So now if you're Kansas, you welcome any kind of aggressiveness by this Tiger offense because an opportunity to get another turnover. There's Kansas scoring a touchdown off of a scoop and score on a Prebula fumble.
And for so many years, that's not something Kansas fans would be in position to say. You wouldn't feel like you had an imposing defense to welcome late half aggressiveness by an opponent offense. But Kansas does have that kind of defense with Leroy Harris, Bengali Kamara, so many disruptive playmakers.
Yeah,
Will Mizzou get conservative here and just keep it on the ground with Hardy?
They get the ball, so I'm saying yes, they get the ball in the third quarter.
Penalty moves them back to the 14. Prebula in the gun with Hardy on his left side. Hands to Hardy. Big gaping hole. Here he goes to the 30. 35-40. Cuts it back in midfield. Hit from behind. How in the world did that hole open up? That's his biggest run of the day. Trey Lathan finally brings him down, but he's all the way down to the 46-yard line.
Well, and this one, they are conservative, but they get a block on Bengali.
Now they skip in the next pass, incomplete. That time they were trying to throw a short pass pattern to Manning, but the ball skipped its way in. It stops the clock with 20, make it now 13 seconds to go here in the first half.
Yeah, that was one of the few plays by Hardy. He didn't have to break tackles. It just opened up. They had a tight end block down on Bengali Kamara. It was off to the races. And now the Tigers certainly feel they have a chance.
Timeout.
But do they have the kicker
Kansas
to put one through?
KU taking the timeout here. Brandon McAnderson, the tide is clearly turned. What must the Hawks do to at least maintain this 3-point lead to the halftime locker room?
They just got to get off the field and regroup. You saw Bengali in that B gap, jumped inside, opened up a huge gap.
Yeah.
They just got to stay in control, stay poised, get to halftime and regroup. Because really, like you said, it's been their execution on the biggest downs to keep time of possession, and it's been a combination of the defensive touchdown. JD's fumble was a first play of the drive. There's just been no rhythm in the second quarter, so nothing to worry about. Just need to get that possession and get out of here not giving up points.
Good analysis from the Kansas sidelines. It's officially 21-18 Jayhawks with 13 seconds to go here in the first half. Mizzou with the ball on the Kansas 47-yard line. 4 receiver set, 1 back in the backfield with Perbula. 3-step drop, and a flag comes in and blows the play dead. It was another one-hand catch attempt down the sideline.
Yeah, the center snapped it before the rest of the offensive line was ready.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So instead of the ball on the Kansas 47, back it up to the Mizzou 48.
Yeah, the end of half is just dragging on for an eternity. 13 seconds left. Tigers have suffered 2 penalties. Well, once off of the punt return, and there's one on the drive.
And again, the factor of missing their star kicker, Blake Craig. He had a 55-yarder last week before tearing his ACL. They don't have that kind of range with Robert Meyer. They need something big here. They throw over the middle. Ball caught in the open field. 2 Jayhawks miss the tackle to the 25-20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Knocked out of bounds at the 1. A touchdown-saving tackle by Todd on the force out. But with 3 seconds on the clock, the Tigers are inside the 5. And now Coach Drinkwitz, do you want to go for a big-time blow, a shot to the jugular by going for the touchdown rather than a field goal? It appears the offense will stay on the field.
Yeah, the third big gamble. The Tigers come up with dividends again. They won't have a second play, just one play.
Leipold runs all the way inside the 5-yard line to get the officials' attention to take a timeout. KU defense looks a little bit gassed right now. They've been on the field for so much of this first half. Over 22 minutes time of possession for Mizzou, and it's a situation now where it's all or nothing. They're either going to get a touchdown or nothing, unless Drinkwitz elects to come out of the timeout and take the points on what would be a PAT-type field goal to tie the game. What a gamble here, but he senses he's got Kansas on the ropes, and he wants to knock them out heading into the half. Still 30 minutes of football to play, but a real type kill shot here, having scored the last 12 points of this game and a chance to punch in 7 more.
Yeah, that last long pass was the first time I saw a notable difference in our pass rush. There just wasn't anything coming in. They didn't get close to Perbula.
And they do indeed bring out the kicker. Cooler heads prevail. The Leipold timeout has Drinkwitz thinking about it. He reconsiders, and now they're going to go for the tie.
Yeah, Taylor Davis had to be ushered off of the field quickly so we wouldn't have that penalty.
So Robert Meyer from 20 yards along the right hash. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is true. And just like that, Mizzou ties this game at the half. 21 all our score. As much as Kansas dominated the first quarter, 21-6. It's 15 unanswered by Mizzou to close out the half. And a 21 all score. If you're just tuning in, you probably thought, hey, pretty vanilla, right? 3 touchdowns on each side. No. We had a safety. We had a defensive scoop and score. We had a blocked PAT at one point. There have been a lot of different routes taken to this 21 all score. B-Mac, have you got Coach? Brandon McAnderson getting into position with Lance Leipold, who's doing TV first, and then we'll hear from B-Mac and Lance Leipold.
Yeah, big turnover, Mike.
Here he is.
Coach, back and forth first half. What do you need to do in the second?
Yeah, we got to, again, we got to settle down, keep our composure, tackle better, and we got to get a running game going.
Thanks, Coach.
Pretty simple and straightforward there. I agree with all of the above. Thank you, Coach. Good job, B-Mac. Halftime is here, and the Jayhawks, once up 21-6, are now tied. And What do you think? Are you glad they reconsidered and settled for 3, or would you have liked to seen a gassed Kansas defense try to stop them and keep the lead?
I would have liked to see them gamble because we would have stole back momentum. And I think that would have felt good because the Tigers, even though they didn't get the touchdown, they did score again with a very short clock and tied the game up and had that big second quarter. So Kansas needs another big play, another turnover defensively, another big catch like Wentz had, and be more aggressive, but they just have to occupy the clock. They haven't had hardly any opportunity. Just 20 plays by Kansas. Missouri's run 45 plays in the first half.
Essentially 22 minutes possession for the Tigers, 8 minutes for Kansas. Big play on the drive was a 50-yarder to Coleman. That transfer from Mississippi State making an instant impact back home in his home state for the St. Louis, Missouri native. 21-all at the half. Our halftime coverage comes your way next. This is Kansas Jayhawk football on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
At Dillon's, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on thousands of items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Dillon's shoppers. You never compromise. Dillon's. Fresh for everyone.
This is Coach Lance Leipold. Running a football program requires commitment and intensity. We spend all year creating a game plan, so we're at our best for game days in the fall. It's equally important to have a game plan when it comes to making smart financial decisions, and that's why I rely on the experts. Regardless of your stage in life, we all need a game plan for our financial future. The Kansas Department of Insurance can help you have a game plan before you invest. Visit smartinvestks.gov.
Hail to old KU. This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome to the Kansas Jayhawk Halftime Show on the Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield. Coming up, a breakdown of the action so far, a check of scores from around the nation, and a look ahead. Now, let's go back to the stadium.
Welcome back to Columbia. 21-all at the half. It's time for our first half recap, brought to you by Sun Graphics, a proud printing partner of Kansas Athletics. Mizzou won the opening coin toss, elected to defer. Kansas quickly went 3 and out, and the Tigers quickly went right down the field. Ahmad Hardy, their Louisiana Monroe freshman All-American transfer, ripped off a 32-yard touchdown run to put the Tigers up 6-0. The extra point attempt by their backup kicker, Robert Meyer, had a low trajectory and was blocked. And so Mizzou had the lead, but KU had a little bit of momentum, as it wasn't all that the lead could have been. 6-0 at that point. That's where we'll pick up the highlights. That's where Kansas would get it going a bit following the blocked extra point. The Jayhawks would come right back and march down the field. We saw a big catch by the Kansas tight end to flip the field. Bowden Groom with one of his best contributions in a Kansas uniform. Ball on the 42. They need to get to the Tiger 41. Kansas trailing 6-0. They fake the handoff. Wide open. They've got the tight end. Down the right sideline goes Groom. He's inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. Beautiful play call by Jim Zabrowski.
And that's what you do with a veteran, experienced quarterback, is you can throw on 4th down.
2 plays later, it was Daniels, this time looking for a different tight end, a kid who knows all about the Border Showdown series, talking about the pride of Topeka, Deshaun Hanukkah. Pickett comes in motion. They fake a handoff to Pickett. Wide open lob to the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas. Touchdown, Deshaun Hanukkah. And the Jayhawks strike right back. What a play that was. What a drive for Kansas. 7 plays, 62 yards, 2:41 off the clock. The extra point by Marjan was good. 7-6 Kansas at that point. Then Mizzou gets the ball back, and you're expecting a back and forth, here we go type ball game. One problem, Kansas defensively had other plans, and you see guys like Blake Harrell and Mason Ellis putting a hit on Bo Prabula, who was trying to scramble outside the pocket. The ball pops up to Austin Alexander, and this happens. Here they go. 5-step drop, flush to the left. This is where he's trouble. Prabula hit hard. He fumbles the ball. KU's got it. 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown, Kansas. Touchdown, Jayhawks. Mason Ellis forced the fumble. Austin Alexander scooped it up. And Kansas with an unbelievable defensive score. With that and another extra point, KU had scored back-to-back touchdowns, and suddenly they go from down 6-zip to up 14-6. But they were not done. They would score again. Jayhawks able to get the ball back after forcing a quick 3-and-out, 48-yard punt by Wesselman, and a nice return of 21 yards by Tate Nagy. Jayhawks go down the field. The big pass play was to Levi Wentz. Best throw of the ball game from Jalen Daniels. Terrific catch by Wentz. It had the Hawks set up shop inside the 5 thanks to this big play. First down would come at the 43 of Mizzou. Daniels, plenty of time, deep ball, looking for Wentz over the top. He's got him at the 5, all the way down to the 2. What an unbelievable throw. Daniels right on the money to Wentz, and it is 1st and goal for Kansas. Jayhawks would take their time. It took all 3 plays to get into the end zone, but Daniels, you rarely see him sneak, as we were kind of hinting at, but he snuck across to the right side behind right guard to give the Hawks 21 unanswered points. You don't see Jalen Daniels sneak a lot. This time he does. This time he scores. Touchdown, Kansas. Jalen Daniels behind right guard takes it in. It's 3 in a row for KU. 20-6, Kansas. The extra point by Laith Marjan made it 21 consecutive points without an answer in the first, but the answer would come in the second quarter. Mizzou would wind up outscoring Kansas 15-0 in the second, including a costly Daniels fumble, backpedaling with the sack, blitz pressure being forced down his throat. He put the ball down low. His knee knocked it out. It rolled into the end zone, and Kobe Baines pounced on it for a safety instead of a defensive score for Mizzou. Tigers able to come back, keep chipping away at that deficit, would tack on another touchdown and an eventual field goal after the 50-yard play in the final 13 seconds to Coleman. Got him down to 3. The 20-yard field goal followed a 25-yard field goal by their backup kicker. Give him credit. He had his first PAT blocked, but Robert Myers come back and hit a couple of close ones ever since. And consequently, we're tied 21-all at the half. Sean Kellerman will take you around the rest of the country after this. A look at the nation's scoreboard and the Big 12 scoreboard as well. Then David Lawrence breaks down the first half statistics. Kansas 21, Mizzou 21. It's the Storage Mart Border Showdown on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Just like Lance Leipold and his coaching staff place their best players in the right positions for success, so does the Brush Group with our multi-company marketing team of Sun Graphics, Dunleavy Litho, and Brush Art Corporation. Sun Graphics is the proud printing partner of Kansas Athletics and is known for marketing support that is nothing short of exceptional. Make sure you're scoring a touchdown with all your marketing efforts by contacting Sun Graphics today, proud sponsor of Kansas Athletics.
Hello, I am fabulous. Oh, you mean like Kansas Lottery's Fabulous Fortune Instant Ticket Fabulous?
I mean, like I speak 5 languages and come from old money fabulous.
Oh, well, Fabulous Fortune can lay some new money on you. 4 chances at $500,000 to be exact.
Talk more.
Fabulous Fortune also gives you a second chance at $500,000 with the Play On app.
I think I've been out fabulous.
Really?
No.
Okay, play Fabulous Fortune. See kslottery.com for details.
Kansas football all season long.
Touchdown, Kansas!
This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Kansas. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of the University of Kansas and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the University of Kansas.
It's all tied up at 21 in Columbia. Let's take a look at some first half stats brought to you by Bud Light. Proud sponsor of Kansas Athletics, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Game of 2 halves. Tigers actually started off good, scored the touchdown, missed the PAT, but then Kansas answers back. 21 unanswered points, led 21-6. But then the Tigers take over and dominate a second quarter with 180 yards in Kansas negative yardage at minus 20. Total yardage 309 for Missouri. Kansas with 80 because Kansas has minus 23 rushing yards, and that of course has a lot to do with sacks. Kansas passing 103 yards. Individually, Jalen Daniels 7 of 9 for 103 yards, has a touchdown, and the long throw to Wentz was the big one that resulted in a touchdown. Ahmad Hardy leads Missouri in rushing with 82 yards. Highshaw 5 carries for 8 yards, but just 1.4 yards per carry. Trey Lathan leaves Kansas with 8 total tackles. Bengali Kamara 6 tackles. He has 2 TFLs. The halftime show continues in a moment. This is the Kansas Insurance Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
I am the greatest fan in KU history.
I'm the greatest fan in K-State history.
I only wear crimson and blue.
I drive a purple car.
This will never be settled. That's why Kansas Lottery has the Rivalry Riches Scratch Ticket. You could win up to $50,000 instantly and great game day experiences through the Kansas Lottery Play On app.
I have a Jayhawk tattooed on the arm of a Jayhawk that's tattooed on my arm.
All my children are named Willie.
See kslottery.com for details.
KU's gonna win it!
This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
The Jayhawks have been lighting up scoreboards, well, since scoreboards were invented. And Shirley Signs has been lighting up the Midwest and shipping signs nationwide since 1972. With 2 locations, Shirley Signs can help you with any location in Kansas, from channel letters to awnings and everything in between. Multiple locations? No problem. Check out www.shirleysigns.com or call 1-800-779-7446.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Sean Kellerman back in Lawrence, updating you on this weekend's action in the Big 12 in the top 25. Another rivalry game took place at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames. It was the number 16 ranked Iowa State Cyclones knocking off Iowa 16-13. Elsewhere in the Big 12, number 24 Texas Tech crushes Kent State 62-14. A little bit later in the conference, number 25 Utah hosts Cal Poly. K-State hosts Army. Houston goes crosstown to take on Rice. UCF hosts North Carolina A&T. Number 12 Arizona State has a battle at Mississippi State at 6:30. Arizona hosts Weber State at 9 o'clock, and BYU hosts Stanford at 9:15. Also a noteworthy score from earlier, double overtime. Baylor, unranked, goes to number 17 SMU and wins 48-45. Elsewhere in the top 25, number 11 Illinois crushes Duke and Durham 45-19. Number 7 Texas, no problem, hosting San Jose State 38-7. Number 19 Texas A&M over Utah State 44-22. Some games of note in action right now in the top 25. Number 1 Ohio State having no problem hosting Grambling. It's 35-0. Number 20 Ole Miss is in Lexington. They lead Kentucky 14-13 late in the first half. Number 6 Oregon all over Oklahoma State 34-3 late in the first half as well. A couple marquee matchups a little bit later in the top 25. Number 15 Michigan at number 18 Oklahoma at 6:30, and number 3 LSU hosting Louisiana Tech also at 6:30. Hey, it's a tie game in Storage Mart Border Showdown 21-21. Back to Brian and David out in Columbia for second half action. This is the Kansas Insurance Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
Right here in Kansas, Kubota and Land Pride are turning ingenuity into equipment. We have a lineup built to serve the thousands of communities we're a part of. By turning fields into farms, dirt into subdivisions, land into legacies, we build equipment the right way so you can build a better life out there. Kubota, Land Pride, and the Jayhawks, a winning combination. Visit GoKubota.com for a participating dealer.
KU football lives here. This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Perot Field in Columbia. Brian Haney, David Lawrence with you. Steve Kincaid, our producer-engineer. Brandon McAnderson on the sidelines. Great to have Will Cook with us as a spotter, always doing a terrific job. And boy, we did not spot many Kansas yards in the second quarter, or many Kansas offensive plays for that matter. David gave you the numbers earlier. Mizzou in the second quarter outgaining Kansas 186 to -26. And the Tigers are going to get the ball to start the third quarter. So you'd love to see Kansas with a quick 3-and-out force, then a defensive shutdown to start to get a little bit of momentum back for the Crimson and Blue.
Yeah, I think Kansas will have to roll the dice a little bit like Missouri has. And, you know, I think lacking the kicker may have paid dividends for Drinkwitz, because it's forced him to gamble, and it's came up big. It's 2 fourth down conversions. leads to a touchdown and a field goal. What Kansas needs is a momentum-changing play ASAP, and that could be defensively or offensively, but they need to turn things around. Let's start with this drive right here.
Laith Marjan, the booted away, swings that right leg forward. A high end-over-end kick will be caught at the 6-yard line, and they'll bring it straight forward across the 20, and a hard hit there. Great job wrapping up by Dye, but Mizzou rushing it straight forward by Tavares Jones will end up taking it shy of where a fair catch would have been. Spot him down at the 20. That's where Bo Prabula and company will set up shop with a 21-all tie. BMAC, you talked with Coach Leipold. His keys to a second half were pretty clear and straightforward right before the break. What do you sense from this team coming out of the locker room?
I think it's a renewed sense of being in the game. The game's tied. They need to tackle better. They need to run the football. They can win this football game.
Two of the keys that Coach had said. Very astute there, Brandon. All right, 3 receivers wide to the right. Pistol formation for Mizzou. Now Prabula coming up to his center and possibly changing the play. Stays in the pistol. Now motions his running back to the right side. That is Hardy. And actually, no, they're going to hand it off not to Hardy this time, but start out on the ground straight forward for 4 yards with Jamal Roberts. Lyric Rawls comes up from the safety spot to cut him down.
Yeah, they've got Finkley, Justice Finkley, normally in a 2-point on the outside. He's got his hands down. So Kansas with 3 defensive linemen, figuring that they're getting better plays from that defensive front. Let's see if that holds up.
This time it's Coleman, the receiver, in the backfield. Prabula on 2nd and 7 throws his way. It's caught. He's immediately wrestled down. Nice play by Austin Alexander, shy of the sticks at the 28-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for Mizzou, a Tiger team that is 5 of 10 on 3rd downs today.
Yeah, this is where you can put your foot down. Certainly not a gambling down if you hold them short of the down to gain. So let's see if the Jayhawks can do that. Maybe a little fatigue at the end of the second quarter, but they looked a little bit revived out there. Let's see if they can get this big 3rd down stop.
Empty backfield for the moment. Now we're going to see Roberts motion back to the right hip of his quarterback, Prabula. 3 receivers and a tight end. Blitz comes. Prabula throws off his back foot. Caught at the 37-yard line. They've got the 1st down. And ultimately it'll be Taylor Davis wrestling Coleman down at the 38-yard line. They pick up 10 on 3rd and 2. Nice job picking up the blitz as well by Mizzou.
Yeah, it was a delayed blitz. And it looks like Mason Ellis, he leaped up in the air, tried to get his hands in the face of Prabula, but Prabula was able to deliver the strike.
Mizzou has outgained Kansas 317 to 105 in total yardage. Play action rollout from the pistol. Stepping up is Prabula. Pass fakes and then runs right into the waiting arms of the Kansas defender. The Jayhawks able to wrestle him down with Trey Lathan. So small gains, just about 3 yards there. 2nd and 7 coming up.
And how about that one-on-one tackle by Lathan in space? Prabula, I mean, he's long. He's making good decisions out there, but he doesn't really have the wiggle, to make Kansas miss.
21 all our score, 12:40 and ticking here in the 3rd quarter. 3 receivers lined up wide to the right. It's 2nd down and 9. Chest high snap, handoff. Roberts running right guard, plows through 2 Jayhawks, takes another with him up across the 45. Finally, John Kamara and company wrestle him down, but he's about 2.5 yards shy of a 1st down. It'll be another 3rd and short.
Yeah, another similar situation. Missouri converted on Prabula's arm in the last 3rd down.
Chest high snap, throws to the right flat, caught for the 1st and more. They're inside Kansas territory, and Trey Lathan will trip up the Tigers from behind. That time they went to Daniel Blood, and he out for Blood, comes up with the 1st down.
Yeah, Blood just wasn't covered, and Prabula immediately recognized that. They went up tempo, and maybe that's what they get for doing that, catching Kansas not on top of that. Back out of the backfield.
Tigers' success on 3rd down continues. Now 7 of 12 on 3rd downs. Handoff on the ground. Kansas right there. Swarm tackling down to the 37-yard line. Not much running room behind the left guard that time for Hardy. But he gets 3 because he's a load. 2nd and 7 coming up. We're down to 11:25 to go in the 3rd. 21 all our score.
And it's getting into 4-down territory, something Drinkwitz has to feel good about if it does come to a 4th down.
This time he's got his tight end lined up on his left side, does Pribula, gives to Hardy rushing left side and gets it down near the 35-yard line. And a nice play made there by the Kansas defense to stop him 4 yards shy. 3rd and 4 coming up. They're 2 for 2 on third downs on this drive. Time for the Kansas defense to make a stand.
Yeah, that was Jason Gilliam and DJ Withers both coming in on that. So Kansas doing a pretty good job of making Missouri force and make some third down conversions. They've made both of the last 2.
Hardy motions to the left side of the quarterback, Pribula. He's got 3 receivers wide to the right, 1 wide left side on 3rd down and 4, likely in 4-down territory. 3-step drop, throws short, pass defended and broken up by Trey Lathan. Lathan knocks it to the turf to bring up a 4th down. Excellent play by the West Virginia transfer.
Lathan has played excellent so far. He's been out there so much in this game. DJ Withers looks like he's got a cramp. He's coming off of the field. But that time, Pribula had a little bit more pressure on him. But look at this.
Tommy Dunn holding his left hamstring as he trots off the field. They're going to go for it on 4th and 4. And it's going to be Roberts lined up as the running back to the right of Pribula. 4 receivers set, including a tight end. Pribula, 5-step drop, plants, fires, tipped, incomplete. KU knocks it to the ground with Jalen Todd, the biggest play of his young career, and it's a turnover on downs by Mizzou.
Yeah, this time Missouri doesn't get the gamble. 4th down, Jalen Todd, crossing route, gets his left arm up and reaches over the top and deflects the ball away. Great job by the Kansas defense. So it needed some momentum. Kansas gets some with the 4th down stop. But let's see the offense control the ball, run the ball, and get a score, take the lead again.
Mizzou was still able to have a productive drive of 45 yards of offense, multiple 3rd down conversions, but ultimately no points. Now can the Kansas offense get some of their mojo back, get some time of possession rest for its defense, and get that lead back, baby? It's 21-all here in Columbia. The Jayhawks have their chance when we return. You're listening to the Storage Mart Border Showdown. 21-21 with 10:17 to go in the 3rd on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I am fabulous.
Oh, you mean like Kansas Lottery's Fabulous Fortune Instant Ticket Fabulous?
I mean like I speak 5 languages and come from old money fabulous.
Oh, well, Fabulous Fortune can lay some new money on you. 4 chances at $500,000 to be exact.
Talk more.
Fabulous Fortune also gives you a second chance at $500,000 with the Play On app.
I think I've been out fabulous.
Really?
No.
Okay, play Fabulous Fortune. See kslottery.com for details.
There's no place like Kansas. This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously. The best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Back in live in Columbia, 21-all our score. Kansas getting the ball here with 10:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. A chance to finally get some momentum and the lead back if Jalen Daniels and the JD Magic can return. Kansas offense went in the wrong direction throughout the 2nd quarter. Minus 26 in total yards in the 2nd frame. David, what's the key to returning to what we know they're so capable of?
Yeah, I think getting JD out in space and let him make some throws, get some momentum going. Almost let's throw the ball, open things up, and then let's run it right at them.
Two backs in the backfield, Leishawn Williams and Daniel Highshaw. Highshaw goes out on a pass pattern. They throw over the middle. Caught. It's the tight end. And the Jayhawks have a first down at midfield. That time they hook up with Carson Brune. And that's a 14-yard connection and a chain mover for Kansas.
And that's exactly what Kansas does. Missouri's got a loaded up box. JD drops back, gets great protection from the offensive line, and hits Brune right over the middle, falls forward right at the 50-yard line.
Brune, the third different Kansas tight end to catch a pass today. They've used 15 different receiving targets in their first 2 wins of the year. Now they motion Leishawn Williams to the left side of Daniels. JD, deep drop, 5 steps deep, steps up in a collapsing pocket. He's in trouble, hit and spun down. He falls down back at the 48-yard line of Kansas for a loss of 2. Hanukkah was open downfield, but he didn't see it with pressure coming in from all sides.
Yeah, he waited back there maybe a count too late. There's actually good pressure, but he starts forward, and then he's kind of right there in the mix of the offensive and the defensive lineman. He can't see anymore. So maybe a little bit more patience, able to look down the field, because actually the O-line did a good job in front of him.
He's been very efficient when he's thrown the ball.
Yeah.
8 of 10, 80% completions, but a couple of times has held on to it perhaps too long. 3-step drop, throws a slant to Cotton, then dropped by Doug Emilion. He was only going to get about 5-6 yards out of it, but on the slant it hit him right between the numbers and he couldn't squeeze it. Suddenly Kansas is staring down the barrel at 3rd and 12.
Yeah, and Doug's got to catch that. You know, 5 yards matters.
Yep.
Because it affects a play call on 3rd down, and if you go for it on 4th down. So that's not a forced error. That's an unforced error, and Kansas has to make up for that with a play right here on 3rd down.
3rd and 12. The Jayhawks are 2 of 5 on 3rd downs today. Their big conversion was to Levi Wentz, heading this same direction of the field. Henderson in motion. Daniels deep drop, being flushed to the left, under pressure, and spun hard out of bounds. They're going to sack it, but a flag comes in late.
Oh, there.
Was it too late on the takedown and throwdown? Multiple flags come in at the end of the play.
That's Brandon McAnderson. Is it a face mask, personal foul? Oh, it does. Oh, he got his face mask.
Yeah, he's reacting to face mask.
Ripped it down. So this is going to be 15 yards against Mizzou.
Looks like Smith could be the guilty party here. What an incredible play that would be for Kansas. A drive extending penalty on what was a sure thing punting scenario otherwise.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So whether or not it was going to get to the line to gain doesn't matter. Personal foul gets the call for a first down. So now Kansas 4-down territory. And they've got the ball now, where at the 35-yard line. They've not spotted it yet. Actually, it's going to be back at the 41.
Crowd is reacting to the replay. They feel it was a shoulder pad and not a face mask. But either way, it's a personal foul that now is 3 penalties, 30 yards against the Tigers. Kansas has yet to have any penalty yards go against him, as both penalty flags were picked up because of a first down gained anyway. They start out on the ground after the penalty, and Leishawn Williams is bottled up very quickly, rushing at left side. He got outside the hashes, but gains nothing, taken down at the 41-yard line for no gain.
Yeah, that 4-3 box of the Tigers was all over that. Very aggressive in bringing linebackers up there, bringing an extra man. That's the kind of play you'd like to see, that 3 yards on first down, but Jayhawks have not been able to do that for most of the afternoon.
Kansas has not been able to establish the run. Highshaw 5 carries, 7 yards. Williams 2 carries, 3 yards. Daniels throws short, juggled but caught, and it's a first down for Kansas down to the 30-yard line. Deshaun Hanukkah comes up with the play, and the Jayhawks, on a double pump pitch that time by Daniels, move the sticks again.
Great body control by Hanukkah. He's bending over. He's 6'6", and he makes the catch.
Daniels pumps once, deep ball, wide open, left sideline. It's Hanukkah again. He's got the catch. He's inside the 20. He's down to the 17. Deshaun Hanukkah, having his greatest game in a Kansas uniform, has the Hawks inside the red zone.
And why not a kid from Topeka, Kansas, having his best afternoon as a Jayhawk against the Tigers.
Handoff, Highshaw rushing left side, stiff arms the Tiger and is pushed by some teammates from behind, and ultimately the play blown dead at the 11-yard line. Crowd is reacting to Levi Wentz picking up was that a glove of one of the defensive backs and throwing it toward the Kansas sideline? Indeed it was.
Well, that's a good example of the pass opening up the run. So Kansas getting a little bit more yardage on first down, a good 3 yards, just by loosening up that Tiger defense with the run.
Daniels, three-step drop. Lobs one left side of the end zone, broken up, incomplete, and it was Levi Wentz that I just talked about being guarded by Dre Norwood, who had his glove come off the previous play. Wentz threw it into the third row, but coming back for revenge and redemption was Dre Norwood.
Yeah, Wentz ran a corner route. He had a defender on his back, but kind of had him blocked out so he could make a play. So I like the way it's set up.
21 all our score. Kansas inside the Kansas Lottery red zone with a third down and 6 yards to go. 6:30 to go in the third. Ball on the left hash. Daniels in the gun. They bring Henderson in motion. He curls back. J.D. looking his way now, flush to the right. Daniels on the run is in trouble. He's back at the 20. Tucks to run, stays in bounds, hit hard at the 5, and he's got the first down if he didn't step out of bounds. For the moment, they say first and goal at the 4. Eli Drinkwitz is up in arms, thinking he stepped out at the 14-yard line. They may look at this.
Yeah, I think Drinkwitz may have a case. It was very close at about the 13. Let's see if it's reviewed. They're winding the clock. Let's get up and run a play. Kansas may have got away with one.
Here is referee Mike McCabe.
Previous play is under review for purpose of determining whether the runner stepped out of bounds.
To the naked eye, guys, it looked like he stepped out, but yes, he did. He definitely did, looking at the replay.
So different situation. Not enough for the first down. I think when it's spotted, it's going to be, I'm going to guess about 4th and 3. Of course, assuming they saw what we did, which they will.
This play under review is brought to you by the University of Kansas Health System. The University of Kansas Health System is the official healthcare provider of Kansas athletics. Together with LMH Health, get the care from the same experts who care for the Jayhawks. Learn more at kansashealthsystem.com/KU. It's definitely coming back. It's not going to be first and goal from inside the 5, but as David said, is it in the 4th and 3 territory? If so, based on the way Kansas called it in the second quarter, you'd expect them to take the points, especially on the road, get the lead back, but you never know. They're getting some excess time to think about this.
And they're giving the defense some rest. You know, they're kind of changing things around, occupying the clock. That's what you needed to see.
Let's send it down to Brandon McAnderson.
Looks like he stepped out around the 9. Based on where they've respotted, it'll be around 4th and 4, 3.5.
Okay. Thank you, BMAC, and that's in that vicinity David thought it might be, so you can understand why Coach Drinkwitz was so incensed on the sideline. They were lining up for a first and goal from the 4, and he had the best view of anybody that JD's right foot, that right white Adidas cleat, had stepped out of bounds.
He can't be down there, though. He wasn't in the coaching box.
That's true.
He's flagging for that.
Why don't you go down there and tell somebody that? I'm sure they'd love to hear that from the Kansas radio team.
Yes.
5:54 to go. 21 all is our score. The Jayhawks with a chance to take the lead back after Mizzou tied it up with zeros on the clock at the end of the first half. Mizzou has been able to rally back with 12 consecutive points. A safety, a touchdown, and a field goal.
The runner stepped out of bounds at the 8-yard line. It'll be 4th down.
Okay, so Kansas gets a little bit more than what BMAC was talking about. Is it 4th and 2?
It is.
So it kind of gives you more of an idea of maybe gambling. It looks like we're going to take points, considering Marjan has always produced points in the last 2 years inside of the 50.
Marjan is 2 for 2 on field goals this season. He's been perfect on extra points, and this is a comparable distance He is 11 for 11 on the chip shot extra points. Ball on the right hash. Graydon Addison is the holder. Good snap, good hold, kick on the way. He got it. And Kansas back in front. The Jayhawks steal back some momentum and a 3-point lead. 24-21 Kansas with 5:48 to play in the third.
So maybe the biggest momentum changer thus far is Jalen Todd's deflection on fourth down. It kind of puts a little hex on Drinkwich's gambling paying off and getting points. Kansas gets the ball, marches down, doesn't get the score, but they take time off the clock, give the defense a rest, and they take the lead.
Precisely, a defense that needed rest after time of possession was 22-8 in favor of Mizzou in that first half. Let's see if the defense can come out and force another turnover or another stop of any kind when we come back. Jayhawk fans earn $20 off storage space at Storage Mart with code SHOWDOWN20 when you rent online at storage-mart.com. Storage Mart is proud to be the official storage provider of Kansas Athletics and the presenting sponsor of the Border Showdown Series. We waited 14 long years to get these two rivals back at it on the gridiron, and it has certainly been worth the wait and lived up to the billing. 24-21 Kansas, 5:48 to go in the third on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Kansas Insurance Commissioner Vicki Schmidt. Success on game day starts with preparation and commitment. And when it comes to investing, you need to have a game plan too. In 2024 alone, consumers lost $5.7 billion to investment scams. That's a 24% increase in losses since 2023. The Kansas Department of Insurance is here to help with our website, smartinvestks.gov. Have a game plan before you invest. Educate yourself at smartinvestks.gov.
Get a great deal on select Kubota tractors like the Kubota LX Series and performance-matched Land Pride implements to tackle any project. The LX Series is part of the #1 selling compact tractor lineup in the U.S. 0% financing available or save up to $5,000 on select Kubota equipment now through September 30th. Kubota, Land Pride, and the Jayhawks, a winning combination. Visit GoKubota.com for a participating dealer.
This is Brian Haney with a message from the Kansas Drive to Zero Coalition. Wherever you plan to watch or listen to this week's game, if you're drinking, have a plan to arrive and return home safely. We are proud to partner with the Kansas Drive to Zero Coalition. Plan ahead to designate a sober driver, hop on Safe Ride, or use your favorite rideshare app. Together, Jayhawk fans with a plan can prevent serious injuries and fatalities caused by impaired drivers. True Blue Jayhawks don't drink and drive.
Hey Jayhawks fans, it's Kobe Bryant, and you're listening to Kansas Jayhawks football on the Jayhawks Sports Network.
24-21 Kansas. The Jayhawks leading Mizzou here in SEC territory and try to even the all-time series in the Storage Mart Border Showdown. It's a 10-play, 56-yard drive for the Jayhawks, culminating in a 26-yard field goal by Laith Marjan, who remains perfect on the season. 3 for 3 on field goals, 11 for 11 on extra points.
Yeah, successful plays for Kansas is to the tight ends. I mean, they're back there in that secondary level, replacing where those linebackers normally would do a drop, but the linebackers are being so aggressive up on the line of scrimmage. We're taking advantage of that and hitting our tight ends.
Beautiful kickoff goes out the side of the end zone for a touchback. Mizzou will take it at the 25-yard line, and little extracurricular breaking out at the end of the play as a couple of special teamers are locking horns at the 24-yard line, jawing back and forth. Kansas defense comes out on the field. I agree with you. The Jalen Todd pass defense was brilliant, but also there was a pass defended on that drive by a guy who now has 10 tackles in the game, Trey Lathan. Now, David, you and I have called Trey Lathan 10-tackle performances before, but it was at our expense. He had 10 tackles as a member of the Mountaineers against Kansas about this time a year ago. It's his third career game with 10-plus tackles. It's a new Kansas career high for Trey Lathan.
Yeah, he's out there with Bengali Kamara.
From the pistol, play action rollout. Prabula looking downfield, throws, caught at the 40. It's complete. It's Johnson for 15. And just like that, a quick strike by Prabula.
Yeah, that's the play they opened up with. A little bootleg action, faking to the run to the right. spinning around, getting some free eyesight down the field, and hitting the out route.
They wound up saying he goes out of bounds at the 38, not the 40, so a gain of 13. But a first down nonetheless, and Mizzou has racked up a ton of those. 20 first downs compared to 7 for Kansas. Tigers in the pistol. Pribula takes the snap. Play action drop back. Pressure comes. Checks down to Hardy. Hardy weaving around is going to be upended in the open field by, I believe, Tommy Dunn and Lyric Rawls at the 40-yard line. So great job there. He's so elusive. He's so dangerous in the open field, but he gets just 2, David.
Yeah, it's because Bengali Kamara was just breathing down right the backside of Pribula, and Pribula knew he had to get that play off.
Can't say enough good things about Kamara coming back early from his injury and leaving it all out there on the field today. He has been brilliant in his return. From the pistol, 3 receivers set, handoff, Hardy rushing right side, gap closes quickly, he fumbles the football. Was he down? Mason Ellis has the recovery, but they're saying he was down. Jayhawks think otherwise, but in this case, he would be down 3 yards shy of the sticks. And looking at the replay, he was down indeed. Ball came out when he rolled over after his elbow had hit the ground and his tailbone as well. Yeah, 3rd and 3 the scenario.
DJ Withers kind of changed the path of Hardy, putting pressure and getting up the field, making his presence felt. Big 3rd down here.
4 receivers set. Pribula in the gun. 3rd and 3 for the Tigers. They've been good on this down today. 3-step drop, plants, fires, lobs over the top. It's caught all the way down to the 30-yard line of Kansas. A beautiful ball that time to blood. And the Tigers cooking with gas, trailing by 3, but they are deep inside Kansas territory.
Yeah, Pribula just stayed in the pocket, went back. Kansas didn't get the pressure there earlier. Beat Saeed Gibbs.
3-step drop, he goes to the air again, throws low this time. Is it caught? Yes, they're going to give him a catch at the 21-yard line by Johnson. Boy, that thing was scooped up off the tip top of the turf. Barely got his fingers underneath it, but it's good for 8 yards. 2nd and 2, Hardy rushing straight forward, runs right into a white wall of Kansas uniforms. Harold tripping him up at the 18, but that's enough to move the sticks, and they're back inside the red zone. KU leading 24-21, but Mizzou knocking on the door of a tie or possible go-ahead score.
Yeah, Mizzou running all these plays, knows KU defense has been out there a lot, so they're in up-tempo, trying to force some fatigue on Kansas.
Roberts is the running back. Pistol formation. They bring a man in motion from right to left. They fake the pitch. Pribula running right side, looking to the end zone. Deep ball overthrown. He was just getting rid of it. But a penalty flag comes in late. Oh, man.
Yeah, Todd didn't get his head around, and I'm guessing it'll be called on Jalen Todd unless they called a hold at the break. But Todd just needs to turn around and look at the ball if he's going to make any contact.
He just threw that thing away toward the construction site on the north end zone area of the field.
Yeah, they may determine it was uncatchable.
There's no foul on the play.
There you go.
It's a pass interference. The ball was deemed to be uncatchable.
I mean, it almost hit one of those tractors, and what we got over there? Big crane? There's no way that was catchable, so ultimately the crowd won't like it, but they'll pick up the penalty flag.
Yeah, so penalties have certainly favored Kansas. It's just Jalen's got to get his head turned around, and he had the big play on 4th down. Who's going to come up with a play here for Kansas?
3 receivers set. Roberts on the right side of the quarterback, Pribula. Jayhawks in the crimson pants and white jerseys looking for a big stop here. 2nd and 10 from the 20 of Kansas. Handoff, straight forward. Roberts will take it down to the 15. Bengali Kamara brings him down for yet another Kamara tackle, but not before 5 more yards. Bengali with now 7 stops on the day.
Lathan, Bengali, they've both been huge in this game. But Brandon McHenderson, how about the pad level of our defense? Noticeably lower than it was first quarter.
Yeah, they are holding up at the line of scrimmage. It's about making plays when they have the chance to.
3rd and 5. They're 8 out of 14 on 3rd downs. KU jumped early, and this is going to be a freebie for Mizzou. The hard count got the Hawks to bite, and the Jayhawks with a self-inflicted wound right there will pass 5 yards to their rival.
Or DJ Withers, I believe, was the guy.
Offside. Defense number 92, no contact.
It's Tommy Dunn.
5-yard penalty.
But they're so twitchy, and they're all over that, so it's difficult, to play perfect ball, never jump.
So it was technically 3rd and about 5.5. They don't fully get the first down here, so it's less than a yard. 3rd down. They got 2 downs to push it inside the 10 and set up a 1st and goal. KU clinging to a 24-21 lead. We're inside 2 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. In the pistol, Roberts is lined up behind Pribula, the quarterback. Give is to Roberts, hit behind the line, and he'll fall forward and pick up the 1st.
Oh.
Boy, Kansas had a great chance, did they not? Brandon McAnderson, Justice Finkley right there.
Yeah, he beat the guy on the inside move, scrambled and got his hands around him, but a finishing drive by the running back gets the 1st down.
Great second effort by the Jayhawks. Blake Harold as well, but both Roberts and Hardy just so tough, so physical, so hard to bring down.
Now Finkley was there. This has to go down on those legs to get him down.
1st and goal from the 9. Drop back for Pribula. Steps up in the pocket. KU's got him. Down he goes. Keenan Caldwell with the takedown. It's a loss of 2 and a big-time play by the Kansas senior.
Yeah, great job. Pribula really hasn't hurt us much running the footballs. Kansas has been right there. It's Finkley that forces Pribula up into the pocket, and then Keenan Caldwell, who's been good in both of the previous games, is really good there.
2nd and goal from the 11. KU leading 24-21. Coleman comes in motion from left to right. Chest high snap, 3-step drop. They're looking for Coleman. He's all covered up. A little bit of hand fighting, but the ball falls helplessly and harmlessly to the turf. Incomplete. And a nice job in pass defense that time by the Jayhawks. Mason Ellis and Saeed Gibbs, also Gibbs credited with the pass defense.
Yeah, Gibbs in great position right there. Had his hands on him, but just basically blocking off his ability, the receiver, to come inside on that. So good positioning by Gibbs.
4 receivers set on 3rd and goal from the 11. Roberts starts to sprint out toward a wide receiver position. Now he motions back to the left side of Pribula. 4 receivers set. Pribula, 3-step drop, throws in the end zone. Got a man. It's his tight end. It's a touchdown. Norfleet slipped in the middle of the Kansas defense, and Mizzou goes back in front. The Tigers, who once led 6-0, hadn't led since midway through the 1st quarter. But they come right back on a 12-play, 75-yard drive that took 5:24 off the clock. And this one, again, on a money down with a 3rd and long scenario. They're the team making the plays in these improbable conversion downs.
Yeah, Austin Alexander just a few inches away from deflecting that and causing a 4th and goal. But the tight end was able to grab it, bring it in.
Extra point is up and good for Robert Meyer. Lands into that construction site area where they're having their $250 million centennial project that expects to be done next season in time for their 100th year anniversary of Memorial Stadium and Faroe Field. So the drive culminates in an 11-yard strike to Norfleet, and now 28-24. Mizzou is the score with 24 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter. Time for Kansas to get its swagger back offensively, and time for the Jayhawks to lean on their 6th-year senior quarterback who was so good early. But we need some of that Jalen Daniels magic here in crunch time.
That's right. The Jayhawks aren't finished yet, but may have to take a few gambles themselves, throwing the ball down the field. It certainly worked well when Wentz was able to grab that in mid-flight. Let's look for more of that coming up. This game is not even close to being over.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Jayhawk Football. (28-24) Missouri. 24 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Kansas will have the ball when we come back on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, college football fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The home of Gale Sayers and John Riggins. This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
No matter your level of play, LMH Health and Ortho Kansas provide championship care to all members of the Lawrence community and beyond. Our experts in sports medicine and orthopedic care have partnered on the field with athletes for more than 45 years, providing innovative treatments and therapies for athletes of all ages. Call us at 785-843-9125 or visit lmh.org/orthokansas to learn more. LMH Health, a partner for lifelong health.
What's on your to-do list? Wouldn't it be nice to have it all go according to plan? With Midco by your side, you can rest easy with a partner that always has your back. Going with Midco gets you not only proven reliability, but an internet connection built to go further, go faster, and go beyond. If you're ready to add more certainty to your day, visit midco.com to learn more. Let's go.
But if you just looked at a box score, looked at time of possession, total yards, all of the above, you would not think this is a 4-point game. But it is, and there's plenty of time for Kansas, who's getting set to receive a kickoff, to get right back in front, despite the fact that they've been outgained 424 to 146, and time of possession is 32 minutes for Mizzou, about 12 and a half minutes for Kansas. 28-24 Tigers on the scoreboard. Kansas needs to get their mojo back offensively in the worst of ways. They have not established a run game at all today, David Lawrence, as this kickoff goes over the head of Emmanuel Henderson for a touchback. And Daniels, though efficient for the most part, 71% completions, we've not seen KU carving up these Tigers downfield at all, and not any of the explosive plays after the big Levi Wentz 50-yarder.
That's right. So, and I have no problem with Kansas passing first to set up the run. And they've shown they can take advantage of the aggressive Missouri linebackers by throwing to tight ends. But how about Missouri on money downs? On 3rd and 4th downs, Missouri is 12 of 19.
It's incredible. It's a big reason why they've nearly tripled up Kansas in yardage. Here's a direct snap play in the backfield with penalty flags coming in and the ball bouncing loose, movement up front. Jayhawks trying to get creative here. What's the call? Did Mizzou jump across early? Mike McKay.
Illegal snap infraction. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Yeah, our center, Foster, the ball may have hit him as it was coming out. Bryce Foster, the center who was doing that direct snap.
So 1st and 15 now for Kansas. Empty backfield, 5 wide. They bring Henderson in motion, fake a handoff to him. JD's going to keep. Shot the gap, gets back the penalty yards, and maybe 2 more. Gain of 7 for Daniels, who here today on the ground, because of the one big negative yardage play, is still on the wrong side of 0. But 8 carries -6 for Daniels, who had been so electric the first 2 weeks.
That quarterback draw was just one tackle away from going a long distance.
And
that third quarter went fast, my friends. It went fast.
BMAC, Kansas down 4, heading to the 4th. What's got to change in the final 15 minutes?
They've got to find something in the run game, whether it be via a gadget play, which they were going to try to open the drive. They've got to be able to open up some of those vertical seams. In terms of continuing this drive, a little bit behind the sticks on 2nd down, I'd like to see them get it to those tight ends over the middle. That's what Missouri's been effective doing, is getting those tight ends in that linebacker area. So has Kansas. So I'd like to see them feature that, especially against its own look.
You knew the running back legend was going to say, get the running game going, but I completely agree. Kansas has 6 carries for 11 yards out of Highshaw. Le'Shawn Williams, 2 carries, -1. And now as the stats refresh, Daniels up to 1 total yard rushing on 8 carries. Of course, some negative plays factoring in there, but the Jayhawks have been stymied on the ground. Just 11 rushing yards compared to 169 for Mizzou. To the fourth quarter we go, 28-24 Tigers on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Jayhawk fans, as the Storage Mart Border Showdown heats up, Storage Mart is here to help super fans like you score big. Get $20 off storage space with promo code SHOWDOWN20 online today. You heard that right. Save $20 on storage when you visit storage-mart.com and use code SHOWDOWN20 at checkout. Again, that code is SHOWDOWN20. Offer only available at Storage Mart. Restrictions apply. Storage Mart is proud to be the official storage partner of Kansas Athletics.
Stand up and cheer. This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
On to the fourth quarter we go. Kansas trailing 28-24. Here on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield. Kansas Insurance, our new presenting sponsors. Big thank you to Travis Oliver and his outstanding team for coming on board with us now in a title sponsor role. Kansas Insurance, for all your business and farm insurance, call Kansas Insurance today. They have Kansans covered.
Total plays, Missouri 67, Kansas 30. Time of possession, right at 32 minutes for Missouri, Kansas 13 minutes. Total yards, 424 for Missouri, 153 Kansas.
Daniel Highshaw is the running back. He's averaging 1.8 yards per carry. He's on the left side of Daniels here on 2nd down and 8. JD, 3-step drop, deep pass pattern, looking for a deep home run ball over the top. He's got a man, but overthrows Emmanuel Henderson, and that's hard to do. The fastest guy he's had to throw to in 6 seasons at Kansas, had separation and would have had 6, but JD just uncorked that one a little bit too deep.
Well, the wind velocity changes when you switch sides, but that's just a miss by the quarterback. Great protection. He was not harassed, and just look for another opportunity because Emmanuel Henderson was open down the field.
We've been asking and wondering when are they going to take that big chance downfield. They did there. They dialed it up. It was there, but the pass overthrown. 3rd and 8. Daniels, deep drop, deep ball, and again lobs it too far for the outstretched hands of Emmanuel Henderson down the right sideline. He had half a stride on his defensive back that time, but the ball sails too far despite a full extension layout for E-Man. Punting time for Kansas with Mizzou leading 28-24. 2 missed chances for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, E-Man did a double move coming down the Kansas sideline. B-Mac was, it looked like he was looking back into sun.
Yeah, Daniel Highshaw got beat on an inside move, so his feet weren't quite set. That was really what he was dealing with.
So they'll punt it away. Coleman back to return the lap and boot. He scoops it up at the 27-yard line, rushes across the 35 and hit hard there. And Mizzou will have good starting field position at the 36, already leading it 28-24. And with the exception of the Jalen Todd pass breakup for a turnover on downs, really ever since the second quarter, Mizzou has had long, sustained drives, chewing up a lot of yards and a lot of clock. It's taken a toll on what looks to be a gassed Kansas defense. Good news is, David, KU's D is, in terms of depth on this roster, deeper than they've been in a long time. But, man, it's got to take a toll to be out there as much as they have today.
Yeah, they've complete solid 2 deep. So they go 21 on that roster. Just need to make a play. Missouri making a lot of clutch downs.
Start out on the ground, little ground and pound here, and fighting hard for second effort yards across the 41 to the 42 goes Hardy.
And what the big difference in this game on first down runs, Missouri's lining up in second and medium or even second and short, and Kansas has second and long. And that's really been the case all the quarters. Kansas, when they have been successful, they've been throwing it down the field, particularly to the tight ends, and the long one to Wentz.
6 yards on first down brings up 2nd and 4. Tight end to the left, 2 receivers left side. Give is to Hardy. Little cutback juke move, and he dives across the 45, near the sticks, but about a yard shy of them. All the while, that fourth quarter clock is ticking down. 13:45 to play. Mizzou leading 28-24, a 3rd down and 1. They are 10 of 16 on 3rd down today. They hand it off, and blown up and stood up is the ball carrier. Kansas got in there quickly with 2 big defensive tackles on Hardy. No gain, maybe even a loss of a yard.
Yeah, I mean, Leroy was there. Marcus Calvin was there for Kansas. Leroy Harris.
And they're going to punt rather than go for it on 4th and 1. They've been rolling the dice all day when they were behind, but now they're playing with a 4-point lead. So they'll bring out the punter and boot it away here.
Now, how big is that TFL?
It's just the 2nd punt today here. 2nd punt return for Tate Nagy. So they bring on Wesselman. Connor Wesselman averages 48 yards per boot on the season coming into today.
Certainly the best play of his young Jayhawk career, Leroy Harris, forcing the Missouri punt with that TFL. Marcus Calvin listed as a 3rd-team defensive tackle. That just shows you how deep the Jayhawk defense is. Getting rest, putting in Marcus Calvin.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Both teams were substituting there late, and ultimately a delay of game is the call. Kansas acting like they're going to decline that penalty. And booted away with Tate Nagy back near the 20-yard line.
They did mark it off, did they not? Nope.
Nagy had a 21-yard return back in the first half. What does the pride of Blue Valley West have up his sleeve here in the 4th quarter? Wesselman to boot from back at the 30. Booming kick will back up Nagy to the 10. Falls down backwards as he catches it. Maybe finding some sunshine there as well, and he'll ultimately secure the ball at the 7-yard line, but a bit precarious in going backwards to his seat. Thankfully, he hangs on to it, and now Kansas will be asked to travel some 93 yards with 12:36 to go, trailing 28-24. This is their worst starting field position of the game. But hey, give the defense credit. They got the ball back to the offense, still in a 1-score hole.
Yeah, Leroy Harris, big TFL. But Tate Nagy just tried to make a calculated decision. Do I catch that? It was a great catch. But had he left it alone, it looked like it had a lot of momentum. There were a couple of Tiger cover men down. Could they have downed it before it got into the end zone 7 yards later? We really won't know that. But, I mean, it's a great catch. Tate Nagy is money at catching those punts.
Football is back. You can gear up today at Rally House. Shop their outrageous selection of Jayhawk apparel, headwear, tailgating gear, and more. KU Game Day starts with Rally House. 28-24 Mizzou. Kansas's offense has been held in check really ever since the 2nd quarter. Time to come alive here. Time to get back in the end zone. Hawks have 2 TDs today, but they were all the way back in the 1st quarter. Jalen Daniels, this is your legacy moment coming up here. Not career defining, but what a special chapter in his legacy could be written when we come back. He'll have it 1st and 10, now on the 8-yard line, they say, of their own. 12:36 to go. Hawks down 4 in Columbia on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, college football fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fans section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey Jayhawk fans, it's Coach Lackwell. Here at Kansas Athletics, we know success isn't accomplished alone. It's all about team. That's why we are proud to team up with Ameritrust Credit Union, the official credit union of Kansas Athletics. Team Ameritrust knows that every play matters and every moment leads to a winning game plan. They have the resources to save, spend, borrow, and plan along your financial journey. Stop by Ameritrust today or visit ameritrustcu.org. Together, it's a win.
This weekend, Kohl's is giving away millions in Kohl's Cash in Store. It's like you're getting free shopping money. At least that's what I tell my husband. Yep, you're just making smart financial decisions, one trendy sweater at a time. Plus, all month, enter our online sweepstakes at Kohl's.com for a chance to win $200 Kohl's Cash. Some exclusions apply while supplies last. Giveaway ends September 7th. Sweepstakes ends September 30th, 2025. No purchase necessary. 20 winners per day. Limit one prize per person for entire sweepstakes. See Kohl's.com for official rules and details.
This Kansas drive will officially begin on the Jayhawks 8-yard line. They trail 28-24, 12:36 to go here in the fourth quarter. Daniels in the pistol, motions 3 receivers tight to the left. Now Hanukkah, the tight end, comes in motion. Handoff, delayed give to Leishon, and he's going to be stood up after a gain of just 1.
Yeah, again, Missouri playing very aggressively, defensively. And that was a safety that came up in the box and hit Leishon Williams before he really got his third step into the ground. And just like I was talking about before, Missouri, after a first down run, faces, second and short or second and medium. Kansas faces second and long.
Jayhawks are averaging 0.7 yards per carry today. Hanukkah comes in motion right side. Second down and 9. Daniels with all kinds of time. Throws down the right sideline. It's caught. Hanukkah, the tight end, at the 33-yard line. A big-time grab will move those chains. And here comes Kansas.
Big-time throw as well by Jalen Daniels back in the pocket. Good protection. Hanukkah went in motion left to right. Goes right down the sideline. Not picked up, but he just kind of paused right in between the corner, and the safety, J.D., hit him right there in front of the Kansas bench.
24 yards on the hookup. Deshaun Hanukkah having a career day in a Kansas uniform. Highshaw lining up to take a direct snap, hands it off to Daniels. Daniels throws back to Highshaw, and here we go, but he fumbled the ball. Had nothing but green turf in front of him. He did not secure the catch. He tried to turn and take off downfield before he had it, and it falls incomplete. An absolute golden play call from Jim Zabrowski goes up in smoke on a dropped ball.
Yeah, I mean, it was not too high. He had to reach up for the ball. Obviously, he's not a receiver. He's a running back. But, yeah, great play drawn up by Coach Z. Snap to Highshaw, back to J.D., and the throw to Highshaw, not complete.
2nd and 10 for Kansas. First down would come at the 43, their own. Daniels, deep drop back. Looking deep down the right sideline. Got a man. Got a first. Emmanuel Henderson hauls it in. All the way down to the 42-yard line of Mizzou. There's a strike from Jalen Daniels.
Now, I love this play calling. If Missouri's going to stuff the box, let's just do play fakes. Throw the ball down the field. Emmanuel Henderson open, doing the crossing route. Now in Tiger territory, 4-down territory as well. Remember, Kansas needs the touchdown, not the field goal, to take this lead back.
25 yards on the connection to Henderson after a 24-yarder to Hanukkah. E-man lines up wide to the left. They fake a handoff, play action rollout. Daniels steps up in the pocket. He can run for days. He's going to take off to run. One man to beat. He stumbles, keeps his footing at the 30, angling out of bounds at the 25, pushed out of bounds at the 23. Great job to stay upright. Excellent body control and a huge run for Daniels.
I like JD. Does a little scrambling of his own. I think this is going to help him even throw the ball better, but he takes off. He makes a tackler miss and looks like he was going to go down, but he got his balance back and he tiptoed up all the way to the 24-yard line, that is.
A 19-yard run. What a job for Jalen Daniels. Cure, the tight end, comes in on the left hip of JD. Plants, fires, deep ball down the right sideline, incomplete. He was looking for Levi Wentz. Ball was a little bit behind him and sails incomplete out of bounds. We're down to 9:34 to go here in the fourth quarter. Kansas trailing 28-24, but knocking on the door of the Kansas Lottery red zone. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 23.
I like the play call. Wentz manned up on the outside with Stephen Hall, the corner for the Tigers. The ball was thrown over the shoulder to where only Wentz could catch the ball. Again, Wentz looking back into the sun. I'm not so sure that made a big difference, but sometimes can be a factor.
Empty backfield. Daniels in the gun, 5 wide set, 3-step drop, plants, fires, Pickett's got it, dives down to the 11-yard line, and his first catch of the day is good for a first down. He picks up 12. They're just outside the 10. The Jayhawks knocking on the door of a fourth quarter lead in Columbia.
And guys, what have we not talked about? There's not pressure on JD. They're bringing an extra guy almost every time JD passes the ball, and our 5 beat their 5. JD having plenty of time. It's locating receivers and throwing nice catchable balls.
1st and 10, let's do it again from the 11-yard line. Daniels, 5-step drop, flag comes in, lobs for Pickett, but too tall and incomplete. Did Mizzou come across early, or was there movement on the Kansas line?
It's usually defense if they don't throw it pre-snap.
It's going to be offsides on Mizzou.
Offside. Defense, number 9. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Crowd has grown very quiet here with 8:50 to go. Mizzou clinging to a 4-point lead, but now Kansas 1st and 5 from the 6.
Yeah, touchdown, Jude. Still plenty of time on the clock, 8:50. But you like having that upper hand at this juncture of the game, but you'll have to find a way to get it in the end zone.
Le'Shawn Williams is the running back. Wentz motions behind the play. They fake a handoff. They lob. It's Hanukkah. He's got a touchdown.
Oh.
Deshaun Hanukkah into the left side of the end zone, and KU goes up 2 with 8:45 to play.
How good has Hanukkah been? They are putting him in the backfield. He's going out like he's going to block the defensive end just as a decoy block, and then he just takes off uncovered. Great schematic offensive play carried out to perfection by Kansas.
Deshaun Hanukkah's 2nd TD of the day, his 3rd of the season in a Kansas uniform. He's a married man. He's going to be a father in December this year. Can he be a winner in the border showdown? Extra point by Marjan is up and good, and Kansas goes up 3 with 8:45 to play in the Storage Mart Border Showdown following an 8-play, 92-yard drive, 3:51 off the clock, and that Kansas sideline is going nuts right now, B-Mac.
They know they are a couple stops away from closing this out and finishing this game. I like the transition to running more no-back, spreading them out, seeing the coverage, and forcing them into tough coverage situations. JD's been on point since moment 1.
Hanukkah went up to that outside linebacker. It looked like he was going to blow him up, but he just ducked the shoulder underneath, went into the end zone wide open. JD put it on the money.
We teased it before the last commercial break. This could be a legacy type drive for Jalen Daniels. Not career defining, but legacy building. And sure enough, he goes 8 plays, 92 yards, scrambled for 19 of them with his feet, went through the air the rest of the way, including Hanukkah from 6 yards out. Second touchdown for Hanukkah. How about his line? 5 catches, 69 yards, 2 trips to pay dirt, and KU holds a 3-point lead with 8:45 to go in this one. You're listening to the Storage Mart Border Showdown. And Kansas football this season is brought to you by the Kansas Lottery. Visit playonkansas.com for more information, and let's play. 31-28 Jayhawks. You're listening to the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check if they're going for it on 4th down, before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo touchdown, baby! What?
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those? Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to Kansas football.
Touchdown, Kansas!
This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
No matter your level of play, LMH Health and Ortho Kansas provide championship care to all members of the Lawrence community and beyond. Our experts in sports medicine and orthopedic care have partnered on the field with athletes for more than 45 years, providing innovative treatments and therapies for athletes of all ages. Call us at 785-843-9125 or visit lmh.org/orthokansas to learn more. LMH Health, a partner for lifelong health.
Smoke is black. I want my baby backs. The sauce is red. I want my family bed. Oh, what can I do? A slab of baby backs, a big barbecue.
From hickory smoked baby back ribs to mac and cheese, peach cobbler, all the great sides, check out Big's Barbecue in Lawrence on Iowa Street.
8:45 to play. Kansas 31, Missouri 28. The Jayhawks with a chance to beat Mizzou for the first time since 2008 in their first trip to Columbia since 2006. We waited 14 long years to get this rivalry back and going. And right now Kansas holds a 3-point lead as Laith Marjan's ensuing kickoff goes out the back of the end zone. No chance at a return. Mizzou will take it on the 25. 8:45 to play. 31-28 Kansas. Both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining. Jayhawks have 2 defensive stops this half, David. How do they get a third?
Well, you're forcing third downs, and just be a little better on third down, right? And interesting, the margin is 3, and you're not comfortable if you're a Tiger fan with the kicker out who's missed a PAT, the backup has. If you're desperately needing to tie it to force overtime, you've got your backup kicker.
Great point. Prabula slings it left side. He starts off with a short completion, and they're going to gain close to 8 yards here to Roberts, the tailback, who lined up wide to the left and winds up getting almost 9 on first down.
Penalties, 55 against Missouri, 10 against Kansas. Kansas has had 0 stupid fouls, and that's something, if you can continue to do that, will bode well in crunch time.
Chest high snap, 3-step drop for Prabula. Throws over the middle, juggled. Did he catch it? For the moment, yes. It's a completion of the 49-yard line of Kansas to Coleman, their transfer in conference from Mississippi State.
Now Prabula threw a nice ball right in the middle of the Kansas zone.
It was a bit of a juggle.
A lot of pressure, but yeah.
Good job securing it on the second catch attempt. Now they try to check it down to the running back. KU's right there, though, on Roberts. Bengali Kamara and Trey Lathan, the 2 linebacker transfers, make a Roberts sandwich at midfield. He may have even lost a couple of feet. It'll be 2nd and 10 plus.
Now start forcing 2nd and long, then 3rd and long. Then your odds get tremendously in their favor. Tigers have converted a few of them, but statistically, it's in your favor if you force a 3rd and 10s.
4 receiver set for Mizzou. 2nd down, and we'll call it 11. From the gun, Prabula. Chest high snap, 3-step drop. Pocket collapsing. He's in trouble. He's engulfed. He's taken down. 3 Jayhawks converge, including Leroy Harris and Trey Lathan. What a play by the defensive front. It is 3rd and a country mile for Mizzou.
And it's starting to shape up that way second half. That Kansas is getting more pressures on the quarterback than what Missouri has. JD has had a lot of time. That time, Harris, Lathan, all over Prabula.
3rd and 17 for Mizzou, with Kansas leading 31-28 with 6:43 to go. Prabula in the gun. 3-step drop, throws short, crossing pattern with Norfleet, the tight end, hit at the 50, bounces off a Hawk there, and he's down to the 46-yard line. Trey Lathan, yet another stop. He's got at least a dozen tackles today, but that will bring up 4th down and about 7 yards to go for Mizzou.
Now, do you pooch punt or do you gamble again? Missouri has come up well on 4th down. Looks like Drinkwitz is going to roll the dice again, and if he doesn't get it, this would be a great field position for the KU offense. This is a pivotal play right here.
4th and about 6.5 yards to go. First down would come at the Kansas 39. 3-step drop, he throws, caught right at the sticks. Did he hang on? Yes. Coleman has the first down. Mizzou has got it down to the 35-yard line, and a fresh set of downs for the Tigers.
Lyric Rawls made the hit immediately. A lot of times that ball comes out. That time it did not.
5:38 and ticking. KU clinging to a 3-point lead. Prabula pumps. Now he takes off to tuck and run, and he slides down at the 34-yard line. Wound up at the 32, but where you start to begin your descent is where they mark you down. So they'll say between the 34 and the 33.
Yeah, Prabula has not been a big factor in running the ball. He's made some good decisions, made some good throws, but not the threat to run.
Mizzou, some trickeration. They pitch it back. It's going to be Prabula, and no one open downfield, just has to throw it away. They started off with a reverse, then they flipped it back to the tailback, who promptly handed to the quarterback, Prabula. But John Kamara, with great defensive intensity there, forces the incompletion. Good coverage as well in the Kansas secondary. We've got 3rd and 7 for Mizzou. 5:04 to play.
Kansas has been very good on 1st and 2nd downs. They've been forcing the 3rd and longs. Just continue to do that. You'll win some on 3rd down.
31-28 Kansas. 4 receiver set. Prabula, 5-step drop. They check it down. Crossing pattern to the 30, and shy of the sticks. They'll go down short. Jalen Todd able to take down Olubide, just short of the marker to gain there. I believe they're going to spot him down near the 27, and will be 4th and about 1.5. B-Mac, how close is it?
About 1.5. It's going to be tight. This defense has got to be ready for the quick stop routes and not let the running back fall forward. Those are the 2 keys on this down.
And David, to your point, if you have your normal kicker, Blake Craig, they're possibly going to kick a game-tying field goal. Instead, you're going for it on 4th down, where the Tigers are 3 of 4 today.
Yeah, they're still back in the gun.
Here comes pressure. They lob. They've got the tight end Norfleet at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. A walk-in touchdown. Mizzou takes the lead with 4:14 to go. Another 4th down dice roll comes up huge. Mizzou in front in crunch time.
Yeah, the Tigers ran a crossing route with a wide receiver. Kansas went with him, and then no one there to pick up the tight end in the void. Interesting just how the tight ends for each of these teams have been the key factor, but that's 2 more big-time 4th down conversions by the Tigers on that drive.
Over 500 yards of total offense for Mizzou, 240 for Kansas. Extra point is important, and they get it through there with a backup kicker. A nice job out of Robert Meyer, who had one blocked early, but that all-important extra one there makes it a 4-point game, meaning Kansas needs a touchdown with 4:14 to go. Jalen Daniels just had a masterful 92-yard march the last time the Hawks touched the ball. They pretty much took what they wanted. Can they do it again in this hostile environment, and can they occupy enough clock to run it all the way down and not give Mizzou much left to work with?
Well, there's plenty of time remaining for the KU drive. I just want to score. I think sometimes you overthink it when you try to score, but run all the clock off. That would be perfect, right? That's a perfect situation. If Kansas can continue to give J.D. plenty of time, I think J.D. will do it. He's hot right now.
Norfleet now 2 touchdowns, 7 catches, 76 yards. Similar line to Deshaun Haneke's 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. The tight ends have had huge days today in the Storage Mart Border Showdown. Mizzou 35, Kansas 31. 4 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Jalen Daniels, you're up, buddy. It's your turn when we come back. You dazzled us last time. Do you have one more left in you? We'll find out right after this on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Equity Bank thanks you for listening to Kansas Football. Equity Bank, a bank built by business people for business people. Founded and based in Kansas, with more than 36 locations in the Sunflower State. Our customers never pay ATM fees nationwide. It's perfect for traveling for football season. Open an account today at equitybank.com. From all of us at Equity Bank, go Jayhawks. Member FDIC.
KU supports our Kansas community. The University of Kansas provides statewide medical outreach, first responder training, childhood development support, and economic gains amounting to over $7 billion every year. Kansas Jayhawks serve the world as doctors, teachers, business owners, social workers, and more to create a better future. Visit ku.edu to learn how the world is safer, healthier, and stronger because of what KU creates.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Hey Jayhawk fans, this is Jared Casey.
Kansas will win!
Holy cow!
Jared Casey with the play of his life!
And you're listening to Kansas Jayhawk Football on the Jayhawk Sports Network.
Fitting that that's the legendary liner we come back with, because that road win in a big-time venue, a Big 12 venue then, an SEC stadium now, that really made belief in this Leipold program that Kansas could do big things on the road. They're down 4 in another SEC stadium here, 35-31 with 4:14 to play. Kickoff goes out the back of the end zone, so they'll take it at the 25. Much better starting field position than their last drive that began at the 8. Jalen Daniels now has a lot of confidence and momentum going. All 3 timeouts, 4:14 to play. What's it going to be for the Magic Man, Jalen Daniels?
Yeah, just ball security. Let's not take losses or sacks. And you got 4 downs to move the sticks. And you got plenty of time to do it in.
They'll start out in the pistol. Now they motion Emmanuel Henderson wide to the right. Highshaw on his right hip. Emilian comes in motion. Daniels, quick drop, throws short, caught, and Quebeca has the catch at the 30-yard line. They get 5 quick yards there. Keaton Quebeca had 1 catch in the opener for a 12-yard touchdown, gets his 2nd reception here today.
Yeah, Quebeca just goes down 5 yards, turns around. JD hits him immediately. You'd like to see him stay upright and pick up a couple of yards, but he went down on a knee.
From the pistol with Emilian behind him. Now Doug comes in motion and lines up wide left. Daniels, 3-step drop, pumps once, pumps twice, checks down to Highshaw. He's upended and will lose yardage. They give him forward progress to the 28, but they wind up losing 2, and now it's 3rd down and 7. Good coverage deep for Mizzou, and JD just ran out of time and ran out of options.
Yeah, that was just a check down. Tigers had 6 that time, though they had a spy as the 6th guy.
Josiah Trotter, the West Virginia transfer, made the play. He's the son of a former 4-time Pro Bowler, Jeremiah Trotter, at the NFL level.
Well, Missouri's converted a lot of 3rd downs. It's KU's turn. They're 3 of 8 on 3rd down.
3rd and 8 for Kansas. Daniels, deep drop, wide open, Emmanuel Henderson. He juggles and dropped the ball. Incomplete at the 48-yard line. It was there. Play call, throw, separation, but not the catch. Another juggled ball on that far sideline, and now it's 4th and ball game with 7 yards required here for Kansas to keep their hopes alive. They do have all 3 timeouts, and they're going to punt here, or at least line up to punt.
Yeah, they're going to punt. That time, E-Man, that ball was thrown right where it needed to be.
Lappin to boot it away. End over end kick will back up Coleman to the 23 and is immediately pushed out of bounds. So KU trusting their defense here, David, with all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout to stop the clock, but it was going to be 4th and 7. What do you make?
Well, Missouri has converted a lot of those, but you know what? Drinkwitz was forced into a lot of those attempts. So does the lack of a kicker actually work in MU's favor? Well, we'll see how this game turns out. But, you know, Leipold knows that he's got the ability to change field position over defensively, and he's trusting the defense to make a stop. And he knew that if you go for it on 4th down right there, trailing by 4 and don't make it, it's pretty much ball game.
Tigers, of course, with Hardy and Roberts will try to run out this ball game. They're going to hand it off, rush it right side, got the shoulders square, and Hardy across the 30-yard line, making Roberts to the 36-yard line, and he rips off a beautiful gain on 1st down for a chain mover for Mizzou. Clock down to 2:34 to go.
Yeah, they had a big edge block on Jalen Todd. Thought maybe it was a hold, but I think the block was clean, but that was the one that freed up the running back to get to the next level.
Clock stopped momentarily to move the chains. It's set back in motion now. They can't run it all the way down to the 2-minute timeout here. So there's about a 2-second differential. 3 receiver set. Pistol formation for Perbula. Turns, hands off. Kansas right there this time, and falling forward for a couple of yards will be the Missouri ball carrier.
Yeah.
And it's Roberts that time for a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 coming up as we've reached
2-minute timeout.
The 2-minute timeout.
Bengali Kamara coming off the edge, unblocked. Actually just danced around the tight end and made that play right at about the line of scrimmage.
So you still have all 3 timeouts. Now the 2-minute timeout behind you, and we'll take it with them here with exactly 2 minutes to play. Down 4 are the Jayhawks, 35-31. Hoping for 2 more stops here and forcing Mizzou to punt it. And 1 more chance for Jalen Daniels to strut his stuff and show what he's got after what looked like a beautiful ball that Emmanuel Henderson dropped on what would have been a 1st down at midfield. 2 minutes to play in Columbia. It's the Storage Mart Border Showdown. Jayhawks trailing 35-31 on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, college football fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check if they're going for it on 4th down, before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo crab. Touchdown, baby! What?
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those?
Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Jayhawk fans, as the Storage Mart Border Showdown heats up, Storage Mart is here to help super fans like you score big. Get $20 off storage space with promo code SHOWDOWN20 online today. You heard that right. Save $20 on storage when you visit storage-mart.com and use code SHOWDOWN20 at checkout. Again, that code is SHOWDOWN20. Offer only available at Storage Mart. Restrictions apply. Storage Mart is proud to be the official storage partner of Kansas Athletics.
Hey Jayhawk fans, it's 2-time All-American Joe Deneen, and you're listening to Kansas Jayhawk Football on the Jayhawk Sports Network.
Joe Deneen now on the Kansas football staff. Welcome back to Columbia. Kansas trailing 35-31. 2 minutes to play. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Mizzou on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network. Kansas Insurance has 7 locations across the state to serve you. Offices in Lawrence, Topeka, Colby, Oskaloosa, and Tonganoxie. Check them out today.
Well, Kansas has timeouts. There's still 2 minutes remaining. You got 2nd and 8, but you can't afford, the 3rd down pickups. The 4th, they won't go for it on 4th down now. That would be too big a risk given that they are up by 4. So if you force 4th down, Missouri will punt this time. That means you got to come up with a couple of stops on 2nd and 3rd down.
3 receivers wide to the left. Prabula coming up to the line here. They've had a steady diet mixing Roberts and Hardy back and forth. 2 very talented ball carriers. And some great blockers up front. This is the type of ball game they'd love to just grind out the clock with more rushing on the ground. Here's Roberts to the left edge. He could go 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10-5. A touchdown for Mizzou. He winds up going 64 yards on the house call, and the party's underway in Columbia as Mizzou just trying to pick up 1st downs and run out the clock. Hits Kansas where it hurts.
Tight end and 3 wide receivers for the Tigers on the left side on that toss sweep. All man on man, good blocks. I mean, that was just well blocked. You got to get off one of those. You got to make a play.
And at some point, a more than 2-to-1 time of possession disadvantage catches up to you.
Yes.
Kansas perhaps wearing down, gashed for a 60-plus yard touchdown run. Extra point is good. Mizzou now with an 11-point lead.
So now Kansas will need to gamble and throw the ball down the field. The idea is to score, then probably an onside kick, unless you use none of your timeouts on this and score immediately.
Boy, if you could drop that same Emmanuel Henderson play with the 2 strides of separation he had previously on the overthrow, that would be a quick strike, certainly. But no doubt Mizzou will be better equipped this time around. Daniels here today has been 16 of 25 through the air, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 64% completion percentage, no interceptions. On the ground, 9 carries, 20 yards. Had a masterful 92-yard scoring drive to give KU the second half lead, but ever since then, all Tigers.
Yeah, that's the play that you go take to the clinic if you're MU. They had a tight end get down, and he blocked Lathan inside. And then you had wide receivers, man on man, all got blocks to free it up. They're really, running back didn't have to break any tackles.
Low line drive kick. Could Emmanuel Henderson provide a spark in the kick return game? Weaving around, sheds 1 tackle, and then dives up to the 29-yard line. That's where KU will take it with now 1:42 to go. Need a quick strike, possibly an onside kick, depending upon how much time is left. You still have all 3 timeouts, but it will take a border showdown miracle at this point. They've got the speedy receivers to do it, and a quarterback with a big-time arm. Just can't afford any more drops and potential overthrows if you do get separation. Everything's got to be perfect here in the final 1:42.
Missouri shows cover 2 with 2 safeties back way off 15 yards.
Hanukkah motions to the left. Daniels takes the snap. 3-step drop. Pressure comes. Flush to the right. Looking up downfield. Got to get loose of it. Finally throws it away. Incomplete. Down the right sideline. Good pursuit by multiple Tigers breathing down his backside.
Nope, not a lot of time goes off. You didn't have to use a timeout. Just down a play. You got obviously 4 of them. You're not going to punt the ball. Kansas needs to make quick work of this 80 or 71 yards they have for the score.
Levi Wentz wide to the right. 2 receivers wide left, including Pickett and Canty. Hanukkah is the tight end. Daniels, deep drop, steps up in the pocket, checks it down to Hanukkah, and get out of bounds to Sean. He does, but they're able to gain only 4 or 5. Daniels didn't want to take a chance with tight coverage deep downfield, and it's the type of play you're just not going to be able to win with. 4 yards and about 10 more seconds off the clock.
Yeah, the Tigers brought 3. They had 2 spies looking for the short pass or JD running the ball. And then they had those 2 deep safeties. Kansas needs to find something in that middle range, about 15 yards down the field. I think that's open. Move the sticks.
Hishaw on his left side, 3 receivers wide to the right, including Henderson, who comes in motion. Daniels, deep drop, flushed right, everything covered up downfield, throws high for Quebeca, incomplete. And now the Jayhawks are down to their final play. 4th and 5, 4th and ball game with 1:19 to go, trailing 42-31. Any prayer they've got at this point comes down to this play.
Yeah, Missouri now knows that JD's going to throw the ball. They don't have to respect any kind of run to running back or JD or anyone. They're just pinning their ears back, have their best edge rushers in there, and they're forcing JD to make some quick decisions.
Don't got to get it all back here. Just get the 5 to stay alive and extend this drive for Kansas. Otherwise, Mizzou's going to start celebrating, and they've already got the security formed in a big circle around the field to keep the students from storming the field. 3 receiver set. Pickett motions left side. Daniels in the gun, claps his hands, 2-step drop, throws short, caught right at the sticks by Pickett. He's got the first down, and KU will live to play at least one more snap here. 1:15 to go, fresh set of downs, 42-31 Mizzou.
Yeah, you'll need a lot longer completions than that, but you bought yourself some time. Now let's get at least to the mid-range.
Daniels, 3-step drop, looking deep over the middle, all kinds of time. Nothing opening up, though, and he has to throw it away, and it's intercepted. He lobbed it toward the sideline, but they're going to say out of bounds. Mizzou celebrating as if it's an interception, but they say out of bounds, incomplete. And we'll see if replay review does indeed give an interception to Mizzou. It was Dalen Carnell that broke on that ball that floated and fluttered.
Really on the field is an incomplete pass. The previous play is under review.
Yeah, the linebacker left his feet and landed out of bounds.
We're getting our first replay look at it. And it sure looks like, did the back toe drag before his body landed out of bounds? BMAC, this may be an interception after all. What did you see?
Yeah, it's a matter of timing. He was out of bounds, but it looked like that foot dragged across, and you can see the black pellets fly up, and it didn't look like anything else was out of bounds.
The knee is hovering above the ground in the air, but does the cleat get down the back toe before the knee goes down? I think this is going to be an interception.
It's very close. It was called out of bounds on the field. KU has that going for them.
BMAC's spot on and talking about the rubber pellets on this turf field. That's kind of the telltale marker. A lot of pellets flying. Mizzou thinks they've got it. And if so, David Carnell just put an exclamation point on the end of a Mizzou come-from-behind victory to beat Kansas in the Storage Mart Border Showdown renewal. JD was scrambling to the right, under duress. He was just trying to get rid of it, but it kind of fluttered on him a bit. Obviously, it's been a long game. He's exhausted, but he'd love to have that throwback again and put a little more zip to make sure you get it out of bounds.
Yeah, you'd like to see JD step up in the pocket and try to, instead of trying to beat that defensive end around the edge, because those edge rushers from Missouri are so fast.
Levi Wentz, you can see his emotions overflowing on the Kansas sideline. He's disappointed. I think he thinks this game's over. We should hear any moment now. They're still consulting the replay review. But it sure looked like that toe got down and brought up the rubber pellets inbounds on this AstroTurf surface. Here's the call.
After review, the defender intercepted the ball. It'll be Missouri's ball. First down at the 48-yard line.
And unless there's some kind of fumbled snap, that's going to be your ball game with 1:06 to play. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Jayhawk Football. So after the replay review that confirmed the interception, the entire Mizzou defense ran into the end zone for celebration. It was deemed excessive, I believe. Penalty flag down at the 20. Won't matter at this point. They just need 3 clean snaps, kneel downs. Now, KU does have their timeouts.
And they'll use all 3.
But it's an 11-point deficit.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct from the defense in the previous play. 15-yard penalty, first down.
They wanted to pose for a picture in that south end zone, so they all went running down there. It backs them up 15 yards to the 37 their own. 1:06 to play. Kansas with all 3 timeouts, as David said. Likely to use them, so you force Mizzou to snap it as many times as possible. Needing any kind of mistake to crack that door open even just the slightest bit. They'll rush it straight forward and pick up about 4 on first down with Hardy.
First charge timeout.
Jayhawks had Kamara slow in getting up, but he'll walk off to the sideline under his own power. First timeout taken by Kansas. That play took 6 seconds.
The storyline that shows up most is rushing yards. The Tigers inflated by that last long run that was blocked to perfection. 249 yards rushing. Kansas 31, of course, taken back by a couple of sacks. Passing yards, Kansas 223, Missouri 334. Total plays, now 83 for Missouri, 47 for Kansas. Missouri's occupied the clock 39-21 to 18-50 for KU.
We'll have more numbers like those coming up in our postgame show. An hour and a half of coverage in dissecting this one. Still 1 minute to play. Still 2 timeouts to burn for Kansas, but Mizzou leading 42-31. We'll hand it off on 2nd and 8. Rush it straight forward with Hardy, who trucks a Jayhawk would-be tackler, and it takes Mason Ellis on a second tackle attempt to finally bring him down, and that's enough for a first down, and that's essentially a game ender right there. Such a load to bring down, and that's when everybody's fresh. Imagine how tough he is to tackle when your defense has been on the field for nearly 40 minutes. 2-1 time of possession in favor of Mizzou. 57,000 plus are about to party like it's 2011 and celebrate their first win over their rivals in 14 years. Kansas will get the return trip September the 12th of next fall in our beautiful new venue.
And circle that one on your calendar.
Handoff on 1st and 10. They dance around in the backfield and fall forward for a gain of a couple. Clock now down to 10 seconds, and Kansas will not stop it from here. Final 10 seconds, drip off the clock, and Missouri storms back to beat Kansas. The Tigers score the game's final 2 touchdowns. They win it 42-31. The border showdown goes to Mizzou.
Yeah, they earned it by rushing the ball better. And when you rush the football and stop the run on the other side, you generally win. The Kansas fought. They almost found a different way to win a football game. The defensive score certainly helped that. The great completion outside to Wentz. All of Haneke's catches, 2 for touchdowns. And certainly Lance Leipold was just playing the numbers when he did not go for it on 4th down. And, you know, when you look at it after it happens, it's easy to say, well, you got to go for that. But you know what? He was playing the numbers. Defense was making a lot of stops. They were forcing 3rd and 4th downs. I'm counting on them to do it again. And then Missouri ran a great play that was blocked to near perfection.
And 63 yards later, Roberts in the end zone, and essentially game over, 42-31. It's now 12 consecutive home wins for Missouri, a streak that goes back to 2023 with a win over South Carolina Tigers 2-0. Kansas falls to 2-1. We'll have to wait until September of 2026 to try to get another win in the Storage Mart Border Showdown, and dreams of possibly beating your two biggest rivals in the same year, as K-State will come calling in October to Lawrence, Kansas. Those dreams dashed here as Mizzou wins this one today. Hands the Jayhawks their first defeat of 2025, and we'll break it all down over the next 90 minutes.
I'm excited at the fact we're not okay with coming close, or of having a lead a couple of times. This is a different Kansas football team under Lance Leipold. We're heartbroken because we didn't come out with a dub against really an upper echelon SEC team.
At one point, Kansas led 21-6, and this Sunflower Showdown was heavily tilted toward Kansas, but the way the Tigers responded from there and the way for the better part of the next couple of quarters, Kansas was stuck in the mud offensively while the Tigers were enforcing and imposing their will. That's when this game really flipped. Kansas still, though, had a fourth quarter lead, but 14 unanswered down the stretch. Give this game to Mizzou, 42-31. Bo Prabula, certainly a benchmark day for him. 30 of 39, 334 through the air, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And no doubt they found their signal caller here in 2025 in the Penn State transfer. We'll break it all down when we return. KU falls 42-31 on the Kansas Insurance Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, does Toyota Tundra have heart-pounding horsepower? Truck yeah. Is Tacoma styled for the wild and as rugged as it comes? Truck yeah. And the 4Runner, tough as nails, ready for any trail? Truck yeah it is. Find your Toyota truck at Toyota.com. Put adventure in gear and floor it. Toyota, let's go places.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk. This is Kansas Jayhawk football from Learfield.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Motion to the right side. That's a tight end. Here's the handoff to the left side, and this is Devon Rice, and Rice will be stacked up for maybe a half a yard gain just inside the 24-yard line. That time the Cats sent their tight end in motion to the right, but Andon Thomas makes the stop, and it's second down, and we'll call it 2nd and 10 from the 24. Nothing, just over 2 minutes in. Wildcats on the move from our right to our left, wearing the purple tops. Avery Johnson surveys, looks at that defensive front. There's the snap, fakes to the back, in play action, throws to the far side, has his man at the 15-yard line. That's only a yard shy of the first down, and that is Jerron Tibbs in front of Jaden